Hello, everybody. And I talked over your we. I'm sorry. Welcome to everyone. My goodness, Saturday Night Star Trek is here. For November, whatever it is. What is it? 6, 2021. Issue number of Clobberin time, of course, being 244 on YouTube, but 944 overall. Getting close to that big 1,000. Oh my goodness! Wow. Anyway,
we have a party.
I should do something for the big 1,000er, I guess.
We'll should.
See. It may land on a Saturday Night Star Trek. You never know. We'll see. But if it doesn't, we'll do a special.
Imagine if it did.
That'd be weird, but we'll take it in stride. We'll see what happens there for sure. But anyway, yes, that's right. Set your clocks back, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, if you do that sort of thing. Welcome, my dear friends. It is so great to see you, especially after the trauma of the past couple of days that I've suffered. Yes, I'm going into therapy for having sat through Eternals. I'm not even saying the actual name of it when connected to the movie. Not just because it's not the Eternals, because it got me in trouble on Facebook.
Yeah, would you please tell only if you're comfortable, but would you please tell everyone what happened? Yeah. Because what happened to you is effing outrageous.
Look, I went to see everyone. I took that bullet. I know that I didn't do it for you all. I did it for me. No, I did it for you too. I went to see Eternals the other night, and I was at the theater. And I don't know, are any of you familiar with the check-in app on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I go to a movie, now it's been before that, it'd been a year and a half almost. But when I go to a movie, you check in. I'm at so-and-so theater watching whatever movie, and it'll post on your Facebook. And, and my friends usually, hey, I want to go see that. Let me know how it is. Or, oh, you're seeing it before me. Or, you're watching that crap. What's wrong? It's just friends goofing off and having fun. Now, I didn't write anything like, this movie's going to suck. Screw you if you go see it. Nothing. Screw this movie. None of that. I just wrote the words, and I'm not proud, nor am I hopeful, ... That's about it. That's all I wrote. I didn't even mention the movie.
I'm not proud, and I'm not hopeful. Ellipses. That's all he wrote, folks.
And I usually, because every time I've ever done that, you would check, and everybody would be friends, commenting, saying, laughing or messing with you, or whatever it is, right? I expect the people that go to goof around with me. But I checked, I didn't see it. I said, no one commented on it. That's weird, because people always do. And then the next day, I just go to check something else on Facebook. I'd already forgotten about that, and I see it stopping, giving me a warning or notice that I'm in trouble, that I posted something that was, I can't remember. I should have taken a screenshot of it. I was just so aggravated. Basically boiled down to, if you do this again, you'll eventually be banned from Facebook. That's basically what it boiled down to.
Can you believe that, you guys?
But I don't get this, because earlier, now remember, I didn't mention that I wrote that. Earlier I did this. Later, after I'd already forgotten about that check-in thing, I wrote something that got turned into a shirt. I wrote, I survived a viewing of Marvel's Eternals, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Hat tip to Hungry Boy for the Clubboni. And that didn't, everyone commented on that and laughed and all this other crap, and I don't know. Nobody complained about it or anything. So I didn't get in trouble for that. But posting a check-in that I was at the movie, paying money to go see that crap.
Saying that you were not proud of yourself and you were not hopeful, and that's all you said.
So I guess what would happen if I just said, boy, I'm going to see you. I can't wait. Hey, this is going to be fantastic. Would I get a cookie? I bet I would have gotten in trouble.
You would have got a metaverse cookie. Oh my goodness. Guess who just walked through the door?
I don't know, but thank you to Eric K. Let's see. Thank you to Eric K. for the $5 super chat. I don't know. I can't see his.
Everyone, please send Eric a hug. Can you send Eric a hug in the chat, please?
Eric,
just everyone send Eric a hug. And if you're a dude, just put Eric EK, please.
Please do. The great Eric. I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Eric K says, Clobby, Tommy only did not like the Eternals because he thought the name was the name was the Eternal Wesley. So that must be it then.
See, look at all these beautiful hugs coming in from my Eric.
Thank
Eric,
you,
I love
Eric.
you. I hope
Appreciate
you're
you, buddy.
feeling better. Be well. If you get tired, please go and rest. And I'm just flattered that you're here. But please take care of yourself and don't overdo it, please. I'm so worried about you. We all love you here very much, and we can't wait until you're fully back on the mend. And Clobby, one of my favorite people is here.
Who?
Someone who is seldom here, and I'm flattered that he joined us again this evening because I love this fella.
Who would that be?
Claude Parrish is here.
Claude? That's not what I call him.
That's not what you call him, but he has a beautiful French name. It's not Claude. But yes, I respect that in Louisiana you guys call him Claude. But Claude is an insult, and
I call him Jackass, actually.
Claude, hello. It is so nice to see you, Mr. Parrish. You are so intelligent and so funny, and I've missed your company. And I know you don't, stop by that often. So it's so good to see you, and I'm so happy that you're here. And thank you so much for joining us.
For the record, I don't miss your company. And we call him Minimus Prime here. He's Minimus Prime. Yeah, well, let's say our hellos, everyone, and we'll do show notes, and then we will get rolling on our episodes. First, thank you, Max Redstone, for the $3 super sticker. Appreciate it. Good to see you again, Max. All right, buddy. Our hellos are as follows, folks. Snorter Poopers. What's up, buddy?
Gilbert.
Good to see you, bro. All right. The Felicianos, Raymond and Sandra. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I wish I could make dolphin noises for King Dolphin TV for the Felicianos, like or whatever. But nice to see you, Felicianos, and congratulations on your channel.
Yes, absolutely. Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete!
Good to see you, bro.
I love you, and I love Leslie. I love your whole family. And I would just like to say, because it's totally anonymous and no one can see who you are, but I would just like to say a very, very warm and heartfelt congratulations to your marvelous offspring, who is destined and has passed the gate and is going to be a doctor. You have no idea how proud I am of your wonderful offspring. But because you and your wife are such dynamic, beautiful people, I am not surprised at all. And I hope you were seeing some of the comments earlier. Scuba Pete, people are tuning into your toy shows and your your replica and model shows, and there are lots of really nice compliments here. So yeah, I love you, Scuba Pete. Please tell Leslie that I said hello, and kiss that wonderful offspring of yours, and pop a bottle of champagne. Here is to the future Dr. Little Scuba Pete.
No, my goodness. There you go. The great Scuba Pete. Good to see you there, buddy. D. Bud Martin, the man of iron. What's up, bro?
Mwah, mwah. Hello, D. Bud.
Good to see you. Zathras is here. We just do not know which Zathras is this. Remember, there is Zathras, then there's Zathras, then there's Zathras. They all have different names. They sound a bit different, but I was watching a clip of him explaining to Ivanova, who is really, really hot, of course. I am Zathras. My brother is Zathras. And Zathras. See, they're different.
And one thing all three of those Zathrases have in common is that they don't like, are you ready for it, Zathras? Crap!
And clap. The lovely, the wonderful Janet from another planet. Hey, Janet.
Oh, Interplanet Janet. She's a galaxy girl. Good evening, sweetheart.
Always love to see you. Thank you for being here. And that's true. See, Claude got that right. Ivanova is God. She's a goddess also. I love her.
Ridiculously beautiful woman. And
I love
have you
Susan.
seen how she has aged, Mr. Parrish? That
Yes.
woman is a tall glass of water. I mean, I like men, but even I have to admit, wow, she is smoking hot. Do you know what I mean? Like, what a smoking hot lady.
I love Claudia Christian. She's wonderful. Wonderful. She's a lot of fun. She's really smart and funny, and she's really good to her fans. JT Kirk, buddy, thank you for that, man. $10 super chat. I appreciate you.
What's he
Sarah
saying?
Maclan?
No, Sarah McLaughlin. So that's like that
Okay,
cheesy
music.
In the Arms of an Angel song.
Every single hour on YouTube, a Trekkie is abused. 3,000 Trekkies were rescued last year. For others, help came too late. For only 18 a month, you can save a Trekkie from Wesley. What in the hell, boy?
Oh, I love you, JT Kirk. JT Kirk, are you Canadian? Because that was a very, very Canadian response that was so hysterical. I bet you every single Canadian in the chat is fully in stitches thinking about the Canadian Sarah McLaughlin commercial begging people for money. So I love that. Just absolutely love that.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for that. That generous super chat, JT. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Kal-El says $18 a month. That's all.
Yeah, that's a bargain. There you go. The enigmatic one who drops bears. Enigmatic drop bear, my friend. Great to see you.
Oh, good evening. I'm so happy you're here. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to your comments tonight.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Lost my track. Wait a minute. This thing jumped on me again. Always does, though. Sorry, everyone. Okay. I have to find my place here. Captain James T. Skywalker, what's up, buddy? Good to see you.
I am saluting you right now, Skywalker. Good to see you.
Salutations, bonsai. Cal L48, brother. Good to see you. And again, the aforementioned great James T. Kirk. JT Kirk, brother. Yes. Again, thank you for that. Yeah. This chat, it jumps on me, everyone, so please. I haven't written down, but I'm trying to also write down the new arrivals. So, and I have garbage handwriting, and I write slow, and I'm stupid, and every other thing there is. All right.
No, Clobby should have been a doctor because his handwriting looks like your prescription pad. Yes,
I'm writing my own prescription down. Just stab myself with a pen. God damn it. Max Redstone, buddy, been a while, man. Long time no see, brother.
Nice to see you.
Oh, man, good to see you, sir. Always great to see our new friends, our newer and older friends in here. It is a pleasure. Let's see here. I never know if I say this correctly. Fabioki 100.
Hey, I think you're right on that.
All right, Fabioki.
I don't think it's Coke. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's Coke. I think it's Fabioki. Yeah.
It should work. And again, this one took a while, but I think I'm there now. Nirata Maximanda Bear, buddy.
Hello, Nirat. Nice to see you.
The great Rod Thunderheart.
Hey, Alberta. Love you. So happy you stopped in. I know you are busy this evening and you have a lot of stuff to do. So you popping in to lick the like button is just so kind of you. Thank you so much. And I hope you do get a chance to listen in. But I do know that you're super busy and I just love that you stopped in anyway. Thank you so much, Rod.
Absolutely, always great to see you, buddy. Hungry boy of the Clamboni. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, hungry boy.
Appreciate you, man.
Nice to see you.
The master Canadian wrench, the great Chris Persia, brother. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Our wonderful friend, Anti-Derivative Jill. Hello, Jill.
Hello, Communications Officer Jill. Thank you so much.
Our other great, fantastic, extraordinary master of all that is wrenchness, Eric K., the aforementioned Eric K., brother. Appreciate you, buddy.
Love you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Let's see here. Wolfie is here. All right, Wolfie. Terrell 72, as always. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Tyrell.
Hey, the aforementioned Minimus Prime is here.
Minimus Prime.
Yes, and he prefers that name. The great Steve Mitchum.
Hello, how are you? And how is Maddie? Maddie is walking now, so you must be scared out of your wits. Let's hope she doesn't bonk her bean. Stay on top of it. Don't let her fall. And I just love her so much. And I definitely love the new avatar. What a gorgeous, what an exquisite little girl. I just love her, love her, love her. Nice to see you, Steve.
Brightest day, brother. Always a pleasure, Zach. Good to see you, man.
Hey, nice to see you. Oh, and congratulations on your milestone.
Yeah, congrats, bud. Absolutely. The Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers.
Dee Dee, Catman, boo.
Always great
Nice to see you.
Mazerus, hello there. I hope I said that correctly. Good to see you. The great Stuart Mitchell. Dolly had braces.
Railroad tracks.
Yeah, never ever forget, sir, that you have done us all a great service. Dolly had braces. I had to find it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Who else popped in? Oh, look who popped in. Okay. We're almost to the end of it. Aaron Baker. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. And our good buddy, Captain Cockney Mira Spock.
He's always changing his name.
Captain
Cockney Spock is here, folks. You know this person. You would think he was a new person every week, but he's not. It's Captain Cockney Spock.
Yep, I'm just going to say Cockney for now. I'll just get used to that. But it's good to see you, my friend. And I promise no one's talking about time travel tonight, if it makes you feel better. No. As far as we know. Or the mirror universe, I guess.
Yeah, Eric, please do. Just listen as a podcast. Don't worry about it. We got Chris is here. We got plenty of wrenches to protect us. Just go lay down, and when you're feeling a little bit better, come on back and have a little visit. But don't push yourself. We just love you, and we just want you to get on the mend, honey. That's all that's important to us. And thank you so much for caring about us enough to even show up here just to say hello. We love you, Eric.
Quick show notes before we get started, folks. I have 2 new videos. My 2 Spinner Rack Time Machine videos dropped this week, November week 1 for that Spinner Rack Time Machines. If you're a comic book fan, look back 50 years. Let's see here. Boy, we got those tough shows out of the way. There's reviewing something wonderful and then something that is garbage. And we got that out of the way. And so who knows what's next? Monday night, I will be doing just sort of a basic kind of a, I don't know, Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. I'll be recommending some comics and things like that. Just kind of a chilling out, as they say.
Hey, J-Man just walks through the door, Captain.
J-Man?
Yeah, honey.
J-Man, buddy.
Yep.
All right. Hey, J-Man. Good to see you, brother.
I think he has a message, hon. He doesn't usually come in with a big long thing, so let's make sure he doesn't have something to say to you.
So I'm going to a comic convention. Eternal sucks. It does, in fact, suck. Eternal sucks. And have a great time at the con. Buy some real Eternals.
Oh, you get to go to a con. Have a wonderful time, J-Man.
And he's up from he's one of your countrymen.
Really? Oh, I wonder what province he's in. Ours got canceled.
Well, starts with a T, I believe.
He's in Toronto?
I think so. I don't know for sure.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I don't know, but he's up there somewhere. But anyway.
A gentleman by the name of Lee Anthony Davis just walked through the door.
I'm running it down now. Hey, Lee Anthony. Hello there, sir. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. We appreciate it. And yeah, so J-Man, have a good time at the con there, brother. All righty then. Now, before we get going, everyone, I want to let my first officer tell you a little bit about her literary works, which you should all go check out.
Oh my goodness. So that's so kind of you. Yeah, folks, I write science fiction, And I'm working on a novel, but I would like to complete a short story collection. And I'm trying to get it published so that it's more than just a book you download and it's more than just an ebook. So I'm trying to drum up interest with local publishers. So I'm selling each of the stories for under $1. And what I'm looking for is for folks in the nerd and the geek community to read the stories. And if you really love them, to leave a positive review. Now, those positive reviews mean a lot. If I could express to you what it's like for me. When I first put my first short story up on Amazon, I was, I believe, 1.2 or 1.3 millionth in the queue. And with just 5 positive reviews, I came up to under 200,000. So when people are looking for a story and they want to show interest in a story, they want to make sure other people like it too. So it would mean a lot to me if you liked my stories to leave a comment on them or leave a review for them. And some of you have already done that. And I just want to say how much I appreciate that and how much I appreciate your support. Enigmatic Drop Bear, I believe you said in the chat that you left a positive review for me. It is incredibly kind of you to take time out of your day to do something like that for me. I am so flattered and I am so grateful. And thank you so much. So if you want to buy one of my short stories, please pop on over to Amazon. You can download them on any device for under $1. And you can also get them on your Kindle app, and you can get them through Goodreads. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you, number one. And now I will let. Oh, hello there, Parrothead. Mark D with a C has made it. Look at that. All righty.
Chief Engineer is here. So is Parrothead.
Parrothead, brother, good to see you. And Mark D with a C, I hope you're not too cold out there, brother. But good to see you both. Now, what I will let you do now, number one, is get us started with our usual explanation of what we do here, and we'll get rolling with our first episode of the evening. How about that?
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so around here, we are celebrating what I call the 735 Club. And the 735 Club is when you add up all the Star Trek from 1966, technically 1964, but 1966 to 2005. All other Star Trek is not Star Trek. It's called The Filth.
The Filth.
Right. So each and every week, we go through all of the Star Trek episodes in chronological order. So we have already done TOS, the series and the films. Then we did TAS, and now we're on TNG. So we're going to review all 178 episodes plus 4 films, and then we'll move on to DS9, Voyager, and Enterprise. And unfortunately, with the advent of social media, there is a lot of stuff out there that on Star Trek that is user-generated information. So Clubby and I are doing a sort of new take on these reviews. First, we're doing 4 episodes each show. But second, this isn't a formal review. You don't need a formal review. What you need to do is to be able to talk about how you feel about those episodes. So what we've done here is we've created an environment where old school Trekkies can come together and new school Trekkies who are interested in the old stuff to talk about it. So I read from a vetted text. The one we'll be using for TNG is Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. She gets a little help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman, and the book has been blessed by Ronald D. Moore. And I say she only gets a little bit of help from her husband here because Paula M. Block is a prolific writer for Star Trek. And her books are great because they offer a lot of inside information that is verified. So we read from the text, and then I throw it over to Clubby, and he tells me what he thinks of the coverage and what he thinks of the episode. I read off of my notes, and then we do something that no other YouTube show does, or at least from what I know. We throw it over to the chat, and the chat gets their say. And we read what you have to say on the marquee. So we ask you to give a grade. We'll tell you when. We'll say, fire, fire. And then you can give your grade and also your comments on the episode. And so that's what we do. And we hope you have a great time tonight.
Absolutely. So are we ready for our first episode?
Yes.
That would be Hollow Pursuits, folks.
Yes. Wow. This is good and this is bad. It is happy and it is sad. Hollow Pursuits is season 3, episode 21. We all watched this for the very first time on April 30th, 1990. How old do you feel? I know I feel pretty darn old. And as I said, I will be reading from the block text, and we are on tile or page number 151. Nervous, insecure Reginald Barclay, one of LaForge's engineers, compensates for his inability to cope with his real life by living out elaborate fantasies in the ship's holodeck, to the point where Troy and the rest of the crew worry that he has developed a holo addiction. But when a runaway acceleration problem threatens to destroy the Enterprise, LaForge is forced to seek a solution from the man least likely to be able to solve anyone's problems. There's another tile here, so I'm going to read from 152 now. Contrary to Gene Roddenberry's oft-stated vision of the future, not every person who serves on a 24th century starship is perfect. Everyone may look polished and trim. They'd have to be to fit into the uniforms. But just like today, most humanoids still carry around a little psychological baggage. How else to explain Barclay? He can't simply be an aberration. If he were that unusual, he'd never have made it through Starfleet Academy. The Enterprise is loaded with the best and the brightest. We see the adventures of those people on screen every week. But even Starfleet's flagship needs its share of everymen doing their job on the lower decks. Every 21st century high school has its share of kids who really don't blend in with the cool crowd. Rather than mixing in with the cheerleaders and the football stars at hot weekend dance clubs, those kids are more likely to spend their time at home reading sci-fi or playing online games or attending a Star Trek convention. You're damn right. Barclay's a nerd who's good at solving engineering puzzles, but not at making conversation. So, conversation's overrated. He works in a world where sci-fi is reality. Online games are life and death, and conventions like baseball are a thing of the past. So he finds something even better. He finds the holodeck. The shooting script for Hollow Pursuits describes the setting for Barclay's favorite fantasy in this way: a picnic setting as exquisite as Gainsborough canvas, a swing suspended from a tree branch on which the image of a woman is swinging in flowing petticoats. A silent garment drapes on the grass and spread with delicacies. A boy dressed as Blue Boy, eating messily with his hands. Production designer Richard James took the script's detectives to heart and made Barclay's self-esteem program into a lush landscape, resplendent in golden sunlight filtering through the greenery. I wanted it to feel slightly unreal, and Marvin Rush did a great job of lighting it, James says. With Gates McFadden on that swing, it was so pretty, one of our more elaborate holodecks, and really fun to do. And that is all the block text has to say on this episode. Before I throw it over to my captain, I will say I am disappointed by this coverage for various reasons I'll get into when I get into my notes. But Clobby, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of the episode Hollow Pursuits?
Well, the coverage I don't really have much of a comment on, but I'll let you know I unabashedly love this episode. I'll just warn you up front. I absolutely love it. I love Dwight Schultz. I mean, I guess, I look, I know it's the 24th century, and mankind, I'm so saying mankind's sexist now, right? Mankind has evolved quite a bit, but there still has to be flaws in any drama or in any characters in drama for it to be interesting drama for us schlubs in the 20th and 21st century. And relatable characters don't have to look like us, as this proves. He doesn't look like everybody, but he sure embodies the just about every geek and, well, not every nerd. I mean, again, you've made me separate geeks and nerds. Every geek I know is right there. And some of them are very smart and have trouble fitting in. Now, I've never had trouble fitting in as a geek, by the way, not my in with normies. I have it, but a lot of people have. I love that about it, but I just love Barclay because I think what I love about the character the most is finally we get a very flawed individual who did fake his way through Starfleet. He got passed on to other ships because captains didn't want to deal with him. And I like the fact that Picard decides, it's easy just to push a problem off of someone else. He decides to help Barclay just as much as I love Barclay in this episode. I love the fact that Picard, because I've beaten up on Picard a lot on this when we're criticizing him a lot. I love the fact that he decides to show some compassion and try to help the man. And that's one of my standouts for this episode. Dwight Schultz is a brilliant actor. Obviously, I mean, everything I've seen him in, he's been fantastic. And, you got to love him from the A team. He's so talented. He's so charismatic to play this character, to show us that just as with the original series, where we saw flaws in Kirk and even Spock and McCoy, these were flawed individuals in an advanced time. We haven't seen a lot of that on Next Gen until this character. A little bit, not saying they never did it, but I don't think they did it to the point where we could have a person that is severely flawed, probably somewhere where you could make the case he shouldn't be, but he is there. And instead of treating him like an outcast, I think we're seeing this in the way that advanced people deal with those who are awkward, rather than him just being an outcast and the normies or the people who are so perfect and so much better shun him. Picard decides everyone does that to people like this. We're going to help him. We're going to try to bring him out. I really do love that about this episode, and I just think it's funny. There's some really cringy but funny moments on the holodeck that you're supposed to cringe at. I love it. I've always loved this episode. It's one of my top ones.
I totally agree. But we can thank Gene Roddenberry for that. So we know Gene Roddenberry is going to die next year if today is April 30th, 1990. So, but Gene Roddenberry is the reason why we love Barclay so much. And maybe I should just read what I put in my notes because I'm quite. I thought I'm disappointed in Paula because Paula is not afraid to get into the muck of it and call people on certain things. Like Paula calls out Snodgrass for her prejudice against Irish people and constantly writing these terrible things about Irish people, and the fact that different authors who have written for Star Trek deny that they're being political when they are. So Paula M. Block is somebody who I trust. This one, I wonder why she's not touching this controversy with a 10-foot pole. So many of you, if you went and looked on IMDb or the stupid Wikipedia and all the crap that's out there, that user-generated stuff that's mostly factoid, not fact, you would probably hear that that Barclay was supposed to be a tribute to Star Trek fans, and so many people believe that, but nothing could be further from the truth. So I'm going to read my notes. I wrote them when I was I wanted to tell everyone about it, so I might be a little bit harsh here. So I'm just going to say what I have to say. Go for it. This episode was written by Sally Caves. Sally Caves is the nom de plume of Sarah Higley. Sarah Higley is a science fiction author and English professor at the University of Rochester. Higley created Reginald Edicote Barclay III. Higley wrote Barclay as, and I quote, repulsive. Yes, that was and is her actual description of him. Wow. A repulsive, brilliant, introverted, washed out nerd who winds up in a psychiatric hospital. Oh, wow. Now, if you would like to look this up, you can see this in TNG magazine, volume 16, pages 20 to 24. This stands in stark contrast to the nerdy and geeky Star Trek fans who believe he was or is a tribute to them. In fact, Gene Roddenberry had to rewrite the character as he was against the concept entirely. It should also be said that the studio was against Sally Cave's or Sarah Higley's interpretation of Barclay. They hated the concept, so they welcomed Jean's rewrites. Nevertheless, Sarah Higley was reported saying to a scholarly magazine that Barclay is a satirical depiction of Trekkies and their excessive obsession with imaginary characters. If you would like to read more in that, you can read it in the Cinema Journal, 1996. Now, there's also an article of it on JSTOR. If you have university access, and I don't have university access right now, if you have university access, you can read that article. Now, I do remember what was said, and I did record it. It is a satirical, these are her exact words. Barclay is a satirical depiction of Trekkies and their obsession with imaginary characters. He has an obsessive interest in fantasy, which seems to serve an escape from personal interaction. Believe it or not, this is a radically softened description given her original description, which, of course, as I will say again, he is a repulsive, brilliant, introverted, washed out nerd who winds up in a psychiatric hospital.
Wow.
So if you're liking this episode and you see in the credits that it was written by Sally Caves, it was actually written by Professor Sarah Higley at Rochester University. And is not so nice when it comes to Trekkies. And so if you love Barclay, and I've been a nerd my entire life, and the dictionary definition of a nerd is somebody who is slavish to academic pursuits, somebody who gets into academia and finds they cannot tear themselves away from it. They learn their entire lives. They're in school their entire lives. Those are nerds. I'm a nerd, and I'm also introverted. I'm an INTJ. And so I don't appreciate being mocked. But I will say this. Thank you, Gene Roddenberry, for fixing Professor Sarah Higley's horrible depiction of nerds and Trekkies. Nerds and Trekkies deserve better than this. And I thank you for your work on this episode, sir. I love it, even though you're somewhere in the great perhaps.
Thank you, Gene, from all of our best. This character, and again, that is just some amazing notes you've taken there, and that just above and beyond the call, because you always do great with your notes, because none of us knew that, and that's what's so valuable about not only when you read from the block text, but also with the notes you do. So I love you, number one, for doing stuff like that. I think this character is also, that I failed to mention earlier, something of like a homage to the character of a famous movie character Walter Mitty, that's played by Danny Kaye. Those old films where he is kind of the nebbish type, or the nerd geek, whatever you want to call him. Mm-hmm. And he is very shy and clumsy, and he fantasizes, but in his own mind, he's a hero and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with those films with Danny Kaye. Great movies. Walter Mitty is what I thought of when I first saw this character of Reginald Bates, the Walter Mitty of the 24th century. And he is. And he's a lot like this, at least something of an homage. I would not be surprised if even Gene or someone because those are really fun movies, had kind of thought that would be, because that's one of the things about this episode. It's also, I didn't mention, it's also fun and funny. It is a lighthearted Trek episode, and we talk about that all the time. We really do have a lot of fun, lighthearted comedy episodes of Star Trek. This kind of goes into that territory a little bit, which I love. Mm-hmm. It's very entertaining. The stuff I imagine the actors probably had a lot of fun doing the holodeck stuff when they're out inside of Reginald's little fantasy when he's fighting them, the Three Musketeers crap. And
I'm actually a little upset that Caves wrote it so that they were able to go in and see, and that they had the reaction that they had, because I sort of feel like the holodeck was his diary, and I don't think anybody should have messed with it. And I definitely don't think that Troy should have been treating him, and that the script had to be tweaked where he doesn't wind up in a loony bin. So I'm glad Gene Roddenberry went in there and fixed it all, because I don't know how my fellow nerds feel. Look, less than 1% of the population is INTJ. And an enigmatic drop bear is an INTJ. And there is another person who I will not reveal unless that person wants to say so, is also an INTJ. So we attract one another. But I don't know how you INTJs feel. We're less than 1% of the population, but it sort of felt like Barkley was like, oh, like this great moment where you were like, hey, that's my buddy, like that's my friend, like he's wonderful. So yeah, I'm very, very proud of how Gene Roddenberry reclaimed this character and even reclaimed this story, because this story could have been very bad. And I've known about the Sally Caves thing for many, many, many years. And I had to go and dig up that quote and find the magazine that I had read it in, because before I had university access and now I don't. But it's just always something that irked me, that people were giving her credit for this tribute to Trekkies, and it wasn't. Anyway, and I do have to say that my fellow INTJs, I know 99% of the population would disagree, but what happened on that holodeck should have been his, kind of like a diary. But I am still happy with the way the episode unfolded. I think it's some of the best of Star Trek.
Yeah, again, and a lot of it, because it is character study. It is it moves between the two. It's character study of this guy, and it's kind of seeing how someone like that might see a bunch of quote unquote perfect people. Not perfect, but to him they are.
Yeah.
To him, he doesn't think he belongs on the same ship with them, or in the same universe with them. They intimidate him, and we see how he has to cope with it. And I just think that is so refreshing on a ship full of people like that it just makes sense that even in Starfleet, some might slip through the cracks like that. And again, they're pushing him to ship. These people don't really want to deal with it. And Picard, to his credit, deals with it and helps him. Hello there, JPRPH.
Hey,
good to see
John.
you, John. Good to see you. There was I'm not mentioning the filth. I'm only mentioning it for this reason. An excellent YouTuber, a very friend called Dave Cullen, did a comparison video, a short one, where he talks about how, because there was a couple of episodes of the filth, like these short treks, where they have a character that is an ill-fitting character. Let's say he's an outcast type, and the people, because STD is written by idiot children, how they treat this character is despicable. It's so not Star Trek. This is a person with problems, and they make fun of him, belittle him, and he even gets killed, and they laugh at it, and they make a joke out of it. It's horrible. And he showed the contrast that used was this episode in the character of Barkley. He says instead of belittling this character, they should do what they did on Star Trek Next Generation. He says, Picard tries to help Barkley. He just doesn't. They never belittled him. I mean, obviously people make fun of him. Little idiot Wesley makes fun of him. Everyone, people are going to do that even in that century. But Picard shows them compassion and insists that his crew help Barkley. Whereas on the new filth, it shows why the new STD is filth. And those shows are filth because they don't treat people the way they do in the 24th century, with compassion and stuff like that.
And it's not enough to just say that he has Asperger's or that he's on the spectrum or anything like that. He's a normal, healthy nerd. And if you prefer books to people, and you spent a lot of time in post-secondary education, and you spent a lot of time alone with your cat and your book, or your dog and your cat and your book, it can be difficult to be in social situations where people want to joke around. They don't want to be on task. They don't want to get their work done. They're not there to communicate their work. They're there to communicate their personal life. That could be very frustrating for an INTJ. It's also very frustrating for nerds and INTJs when people get overly emotional when they're not supposed to be, overly emotional out of context. So I really also love the fact that they just allow Barkley to be a nerd. Gene Roddenberry allowed Barkley to be a nerd. He didn't have to have something wrong with him. He's just an introvert and is a nerd. He prefers books to people. He's an academic. He is absolutely genius level, brilliant, but his efforts are not at fitting in. His efforts are with his craft, with his gift, with his edification, and what he does. So I love that, and I love Gene Roddenberry. I love him, and I miss him so much.
I just thought you'd like to see this a little break from just a slight change of topic, just to show you something very nice by the wonderful J-Man, who
Oh.
wrote, "I just bought Lila and read it and reviewed it 5 stars. That was a great story and a bit disturbing too.
Oh,
I will
good.
check out your other works
Oh,
for sure."
J-Man, thank you. That means so much to me because you're friends with Clobby. So that's actually a huge
Thank you,
compliment to
J-Man.
me. I am so honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, J-Man. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate all of you being here. So thank you. I thought that would make number
It
one's
did.
day. So,
It did. It really did. Thank you so much, J-Man. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here.
and Kalal, yes, the Dave Cullen video, that's a very good one. I mean, it's really, and I love how he uses, to make his point, to bolster his point, he beautifully uses this episode, Hollow Pursuit. Speaking of which, I will ask now, hello there, architectural foam panels and columns. I like that name. I like it. And hello there, good to see you. Now, what is your rating, number one? And I'll ask we will give our ratings of this episode.
Hold your fire, everyone. Hold your fire.
Hold your fire. Yep. And then I will ask for yours after I get a rating from number one, and then I'll give mine. So go for it.
This is an A.
Okie dokie. Mine is an A plus, folks. This is a top fiver for me. I love this episode and I love this character. I love everything about just White Soldier is just amazing. So now I will ask you all, my good friends, please give us your rating and any comments you may have on Hollow Pursuits.
Fire at will. The word is given.
Yep. Word is given. So I'm going to hold up my chat there for a minute so I can make sure we get some of those through there. And I'm writing something down here. Columns. Let's see. All right. I've never seen a name that long before. I don't think architectural foam panels and columns. And Barkley does rule. I agree with you there. Mm-hmm. So let's see here. All right. Whoa. Oh, yes, of course. Absolutely. R.I.P. the Great Bird of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a tough night. It was an anniversary. It was like 30 years just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we got our first one here.
Okay, honey.
Wow. I can't believe Steve Mitchum. Man, you were tough.
What? Steve Mitchum?
Steve Mitchum, while I really like Shield, the character of Barkley always felt like a slight to Trekkies.
Oh,
after I saw the character in Voyager where he was geeking out over the crew of Voyager. Yeah, I remember that. I love those Voyager. I like those Voyager ones. Even with the rewriting, they only seem to feel the need to portray us fans as shy, clumsy introverts who've never been kissed. It's low-hanging fruit. I guess we're easy targets. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I just think it was more of I understand that that was the target, but I think they turned it into, with the changes made, Roddenberry turned it into more of just a good character who had personality issues. Yes, he's Walter Mitty, and he made a kind of a lighthearted episode out of Hollow Pursuits, but I think Roddenberry's intention was not to slight fans. It made, again, as Raquel points out, that was the original intent. I don't see this episode as showing that in any way. I just think it's showing us that even in the 24th century, someone like that could slip through the cracks. And Schultz is brilliant. So I understand where you're coming from.
Steve Mitchum, I totally know where you're coming from. And you just gave a big finger to just held up the middle finger there to Professor Higley, to Sally Caves. And so I'm cheering you on, sir. I understand the sentiment and I love you for it. Nerd on, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Did I miss? Okay. Kal-El says A+. This episode was incredibly well done. It showed a character that most people from our time can relate to. I enjoyed the humorous moments, as cringy as they were, and I wouldn't change a thing. Agreed, sir. A+ for Zathras. A plus infinity. Wow, I love this episode. I watch it all the time. Zathras supports all engineers, but especially him. By the way, Barclay's fantasies, I guess, are tame compared to Zathras. Use your imagination. I do. I love it. Let's see here.
An Esh pick from Max. Max, I've missed you. Welcome home, Max.
I have never seen an 8-parter. It's going to take Max. It'll take me a while to get through all these parts, but we'll do it.
Yeah, but Max is a smarty pants, so it's going to be good.
You big smarty pants, you. Max Redstone says, "Hey, this is one of my favorite TNG episodes for so many reasons. First is Barclay. What a character. Finally, a man is using the holodeck for what a man would use a holodeck for. Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's right. Revenge porn. And what a lovely revenge universe Reg creates. From the well-wrapped goddess of empathy to the 3 musketeers and 1 Riker mouseketeer to Beverly. Absolutely. I'm gotta make sure I'll be able to get back to the other ones. So give me a second here. And her son, Georgie Porgy Wesley Crusher, all waiting on Master Reginald. I don't know whose reaction is more priceless, the real Riker or the real Troy. This is coupled. Yeah, that was a funny scene when she's laughing at Riker and then it turns the tables on him. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really good.
With the trashing, young Ensign Wesley being an even bigger D-bag in real life than his holodeck counterpart. Moreover, an honest-to-goodness ship-threatening mystery.
Yeah.
Now, my friends, and that's true. I like the mysteries. Well.
Yep.
We are cooking with something more than Gorn eggs. This episode is a true TNG original. Reg Barclay's journey is not action-packed and is awkward as hell to watch. Yeah. However, within the space of just one episode, we meet Reg, we learn Reg, and we see Reg change just a little. Just enough to save the day. I can't give this an A+ because something is always... We'll get to it. Bothered me. Reg solves the mystery, but Picard stops the ship. I mean, seriously, was it a possibility that Reg would save the day, but the ship doesn't come out of death warp? I don't know. Let's see here. The Yulebrenner impersonator sitting in the captain's chair says, "Cycle power through the ventral relay." Is that even a thing? Oh, well, still a classic. Well said, Espic there, buddy.
Mwah, mwah. I missed you, Max.
Good to see you, Maxie. I'm glad you're back, bro. Appreciate that review. A- for the great Raymond Feliciano. I love Dwight Schultz and how he brings some of Murdoch out in this role. Yes, he's what a great actor, man. He should have been in more stuff. The holodeck sequences are painful, but it was but it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Glad he saved the ship. I am a proud geek. Bravo.
Yes. Geek out, baby. Geek out.
Geek on, dude. Snorpooper says, Reginald Barclay is less than perfect human, which immediately makes him more interesting than most of the officers of the Enterprise. But underneath that, he has mad skills. Yes, sorry. Let me get to your next one there, buddy. Hang on a sec. Bop. There we go. He is more than redeemed when he saves the ship, and of course, he does realize that Wesley sucks and needs a good spanking. Yes.
And the way he's eating the pie, Snortopoopus.
Yeah.
Snortopoopus, would you eat that pie like that? No, you would not. You wouldn't even eat a salmon like that.
Finally,
boy Wesley has no manners.
Wesley put in his place. Finally, I'm here, you buddy. I knew about the flux capacitor. Yeah, they actually mentioned a flux capacitor in this one movie. Was that a? Sorry to mention Back to the Future, Cockney. I know it's a trigger for you, but a flux capacitor is mentioned in this episode. But I didn't need to hear about it from some 17-year-old
kid. Yeah,
I know Doc Brown would have been better for that. Again, sorry, Cockney. I know you hate Back to the Future. My
He responded to me, Snorty responded to me, well, I am a bear.
Yes, you're the bear. Sometimes it gets the bear, and the bear gets you. Sandra Feliciana says B. Someone unable to work with others would not make it when people depend on each other. His severe anxiety makes him unable to serve, but can be treated. Probably teased as a kid about being smart.
Yep.
He did bounce around Starfleet a lot, and again, a lot of people just kept putting him off on a lot of other captains. And then he finds a home on the Enterprise because Picard chooses to give him a chance and help him. And that's one of the things I love about the episode.
Yep, because sometimes fit isn't as important as credentials and competence. Credentials and competence should be more important than quote unquote fit. So I love your comment, Sandra.
Yep, absolutely. Wolfie762, buddy, says, let's see, rating A. Tonight, we dine on broccoli. Yuck, by the way. Our favorite clandestine vegetable makes its triumphant entrance into the show.
Clandestine vegetable. Can you believe we know these people?
Yes.
I wish I knew their real names in real life. Some of the people in our community are just brainiac brilliance. They're just brainiac beauties. I love it.
This is not my favorite Barkley episode, but lays ground for the fantastic episodes to come. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The reality of the holodeck comes to fruition here with the absolute possibility that someone may become addicted to unhealthy use of the system. That's another thing I like about this episode. That's a nice, a very interesting concept.
And it's important to say that the NCC 1701D is a self-cleaning mechanism. Otherwise, you would never want to go on a holodeck. I mean, who would want to? I mean, I wouldn't want to do the cleanup on aisle 2 with Quark. That's for sure.
Wow, I'm
saying.
gonna try not to even think about that one.
Imagine going in that room. When
Oh my God!
Riker's been in that room. When you know Imzadi's been in that room.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Now I don't want to go on into the holodeck so much now. Broccoli is right. Why the hell is some 17-year-old kid telling anyone about anything on this ship? Suxley needs to catch the bus to school. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You got it, Wolfie.
Indeedishness.
Enigmatic Drop Bear says, Q Bortus.
the great Eric K. Yes. Says B. One of two. Clean up holodeck to Geordi saying he knows all about getting lost in the holodeck is an understatement.
Yeah.
Hate for the cleanup after Barkley and Geordi. Picard shows some leadership. Yes, he did.
Eric did a two-parter? Oh, baby, I love you.
And Eric picked. Knowing a good leader, knowing a good leader just needs to know knowing. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think I got one. I missed one. Oh. No, guys. Okay. Leadership. Picard knowing a good leader just needs to know how to interact with someone. Brent showed his range as a musketeer, shows not everyone thinking the same can look at problems different ways. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It is very Trek. It's very Trek to take someone who does have these problems and help them. Mm-hmm. And unlike the SAD filth, you should watch that David Cullen video. It's brilliant. Mm-hmm. Where he shows the differences between how they treat a kind of a messed up guy. And they're worse than him anyway. Because you can be, everybody on those shows are needy little children.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I tried watching The Filth, but it was just mostly millennials crying in the dark. So I just decided no.
You can get that anywhere. 8.8 Goddesses of Empathy out of 10 for J.T. Kirk. I love the scene with Troy getting embarrassed in the holodeck Decker unit, calls himself a senior officer, but allows Woosley to say broccoli. Allows him to say broccoli. What a joke. I'm with you there.
Talk about a flawed character. The Decker unit is one of the most flawed characters. When you're looking at flaws, I don't really think of Barkley. I definitely think of the Decker unit. And I love you for saying so, JT Kirk.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, sir. Catman, hello there. Clobby, it's an awesome episode. Truly loved it. And the actor and the character was and is awesome. I give it an A+ from the great Catman. Thank you so much, Dee Dee Myers. I hope you and your wife are doing well, by the way.
Yes.
Not
Please
a review, but
send her our best. Let her know that we're
Absolutely.
all thinking of her, right? Please make sure that you do that.
He will. Oh, he will. Not a review necessarily, but our new friend, Architectural Foam Panels and Columns, says, this is one of my favorite TNG episodes. Excellent. Thank you so much.
Is that Margaret Atwood as your avatar? Do you have a cross-eyed Margaret Atwood as your avatar? I believe you do. Please clarify.
Well, she was cross-eyed anyway, from what I hear.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Minimus says, Claude Perry says A+++++. I wasn't really a fan of TNG until this familiar face showed up and did a great job. He did. It was just. I mean, he's amazing.
Yeah, I
What
agree.
was, and the thing is, he was already in an asylum. If you know him as Face Man. I mean, not Face Man. I mean, it's Murdoch. Face Man is breaking him out. I messed up.
That's okay.
You ever watch the A-Team? It was a fun show.
Yes. Unfortunately, I had a sibling that watched that, and can I just say head desk. Oh,
it was so fun. They could shoot people with spray machine gun bullets into a crowd, and nobody would ever get hit. It was great. They could crash in a helicopter and just run out and go, wow, that was unfortunate, and just brush themselves off. Boom, they're fine. Oh, I love it. But he was great. Anyway, take this one away. Number one, enigmatic drop bear.
My fellow INTJ nerdy nerd. Love you, enigmatic drop bear. And he has a full-on Esh pick. We've got a six-parter coming at you, folks. If you're not in the live chat, you're participating as a podcast. We have a six-parter coming at you.
In that case, we'll just say Mega Cropper will give us an A, by the way. Thank you. Now we will start with this yes pick. Go for it.
A. It's not a criticism to say this episode's outcome was predictable from the outset. It was clearly intended as a character study. I completely agree. 2 of 6. That leaves me in two minds about this episode. On the one hand, a starship crew would likely be highly capable and elitist, given the situations they routinely need to deal with. 3 of 6. On the other hand, the episode reveals a future humanity that still has flaws and real personality-related issues that need to be worked through. Agreed. 4 of 6. Taking the former view, it's reasonable that Barclay would be singled out and chastised. The latter view exposes most of the senior crew as haughty and lacking social leadership skills. Yeah, just like in real life. I love you, enigmatic drop bear. Yep. 5 of 6. Even Troy's apparent empathy evaporates when she's confronted by Barclay's goddess of empathy. Just about anyone can lead a team of assenting experts. The typical pastiche requires more skill. 6 of 6. I'm not sure whether the showrunners were trolling fans or preparing us for Wesley's departure with the puke-inducing schooling Barclay and have him bestow Reg with the pejorative broccoli.
Thank you, ED.
Love you.
Yes.
Mwah,
Very well said, as always.
Enigmatic drop bear drops the mic on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, another thing about it is we now, whereas someone like Barclay is, very much more common in the 20th and 21st century. In the 24th century, he's something of a, not an anomaly, but I mean, he's a rarity. Mm-hmm. He's a rarity, but he still exists. So yes, he won't be the rule anymore. Mm-hmm. He's the exception, but he's still there. His type is still there, which I think is good for storytelling. Mm-hmm. So the great Derek K, thank you so much for that $5 super chat, my friend. Was Troy the goddess of empathy and love the Saved program? I probably would have, to be honest.
That's what I was hoping for, and I think it's really good because, like I said, the holodeck should be like a diary. As long as it's self-cleaning, no one needs to know.
I know where I'd be all the time, but anyway. Let's see. Top 5 TNG characters: Picard, Data, Ro, Barclay, Pulaski, and Guy. You like Pulaski? Oh. That's the first. Okay.
Wow, but I really like that declaration of Barclay being fourth. So you
Yeah.
also are of cerebral mind and appreciate someone who has more skills than just social skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, soft skills are
Exactly.
very important these days, and it seems like people are less keen to be around people who are competent and educated and have credentials. They want those soft skills instead. So that speaks volumes about you, and I appreciate your comment. Thank you.
Architectural, thank you so much, and it's great to see you. We're great, always great to have a new friend, and it is. We hope we will see you here often. And I hope you will hang with us here. We've got a lot of episodes to go. The great D. Bud Martin finally getting into the review business again because he's seeing some episodes he likes. A-. One of two. Love Dwight Schultz and the Barkley character. I particularly love the way he skewers the crew's egos with their holodeck versions. That was a lot of fun. My only complaint is that Picard should have dressed down Geordi and Riker for more for calling him broccoli, unprofessional behavior for officers, and rejected Wesley for making the name up.
Yeah,
Ejected him. Yeah, he did get all over him pretty good. He said, "Well, I mean, he did not trying to defend him necessarily, Debo, but he did say, all right, that's enough. The name ends here. I mean, yeah. Stop it." He was not happy. He was appalled the minute they said it. It's something about it's caught on or something. He said, "Well, let's uncut it on."
Yeah, but you know what's so funny, Clobby, is like our chat is revealing who they are as people, and it's very clear that there are a lot of educated people with who are very intelligent, who are actual nerds and actual geeks. And now, like, saying you're a nerd or a geek is a currency. If you watch one superhero movie nowadays, you can call yourself a geek or a nerd. And I really like the fact that in our community, they are real nerds and real geeks, and they know what that's like when those soft skills and leadership and all that is all preoccupied with the social aspects instead of the job at hand. And I just love how so many people here are proving that they are bona fide geeks, that they are bona fide nerds, that they are intelligent people who value their craft, who are really good at what they do, and don't put social skills at the top. I mean, social skills are important. But you know what? Lots of nerds and geeks are low on social skills, but super high in manners. So keep going, chat. I love you all.
Indeed, indeed. John says, A+. I have always loved this episode. Great writing and acting. I'm with you there. And now we have our wonderful friend Jill with a major Esh pick. This is maybe the two. Wow. It's great to see you, Jill. And take it away, number one.
My fellow nerd, and also this crew's communications officer. If you have not met her, this is communications officer Jill. She goes by anti-derivative Jill because she's got a mathlete joke for you, and it's hysterical. So 1 of 8. Jill's giving this an A. She says, it touches on using fantasy to attain successes in life when reality proves more difficult. But it's also about the struggle of being awkward socially, and I can relate to both on some scale. 2 of 8. Jill says, how is Data the most adept socially in this episode? Schooling and shaming Wes about the nickname Broccoli? The only other person with sense in this episode is Guinan. Yeah, I like how Guinan is rude about it. Like, you can tell Guinan knows like a lot of nerds and geeks.
Yeah,
well,
she tells Geordi that story.
Yeah,
about her relative.
Yeah,
that was a great scene as well. I mean,
wasn't it? Like,
so
it definitely tells you something about these people's characters, right?
I would still maintain Picard was also on his back in his corner.
He was. He definitely was. But notice how sensitive real nerds and real geeks are to this stuff, whereas normies who are posing as nerds and geeks are pretty much okay with it because they're used to this sort of gang mentality. Anyways, let's not interrupt Jill. Jill, 3 of 8. The idea of fitting in just repels me. If I felt that nobody wanted me around, I'd probably be late and nervous too. Yeah, Guinan says that, and it's great. 4 of 8. I appreciated the callback to Geordi's love for Brahms' holodeck simulation because that is a case where Geordi himself lost sense of reality. Yes. I like how they present the teamwork in engineering.
Yes.
5 of 8. This is one of my favorite episodes, and it's funny, but I had to dock the plus because I've never looked at it so critically before to wonder why absolutely everyone has to be so insensitive. 6 of 8. Favorite line? I mean, I'm the guy who writes down things to remember to say when there's a party. It's the point in the episode where I realize that I'm a little bit like Barkley. And that's okay. I love you, nerdy girl. 7 of 8. And then when he finally gets there, he winds up alone in a corner trying to look up comfortable. Trying to look comfortable while examining a potted plant. Barkley said that. Yep. And Jill puts in parentheses, I know what you mean, Barkley. That's why I always hope there's a dog. Or a cat, right, Jill? Or a cat. 8 of 8. Barkley's so real, and it was a pleasure getting to know someone not on the bridge a little more. His imagination finally proves useful. It's the real predecessor to the Lower Decks episode. I love you, nerdy girl.
Yes. Again, and that's one of the reasons why this is one of my favorite times I don't beat up on Picard, because he was in his corner right away, and when he accidentally made that mistake and called to Barkley, it was funny. Same time, he felt horrible about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
I got to give him that credit. And again, the whole point of what Dave Cullen talked about, how this episode, he decided. I love the line when he talked about how it's easy to put your problems on someone else. Just why don't we try to actually help this man? Yep. And that's one of the key episodes. That's why I'm very writing to Picard right there.
Yep.
Got to be.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't worry. I'll still beat up on Jean-Luc sometimes.
Yes, please do. Patty Stew.
Patty Stew. Not so much Jean-Luc, but Patty Stew. A- from Fabioki 100. Thank you so much. Let's see if we have any other ratings.
Did we get them all?
I don't know. Maybe Mark can't write one now because he's. I don't know if Mark D gave us one.
Mark, where's your review? Is StreamYard messing with Clobby and I this evening?
I don't know. Hello there, LDG of Geeks and Joy.
Oh my goodness, I can't even see that person on this side of StreamYard. I hope something isn't going funky.
I don't know, but thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. Good to see you.
And Scuba Pete got skipped at 58 minutes.
Did he?
Yeah.
At 58?
Yeah.
The whole thing jumped on me. Let's see. I'm trying to get back.
Architectural foam panels and columns says he's giving this, he or she is giving this a solid A.
Sir John, hello there.
Michael Beacom, good evening.
Oh, I don't see. Now that I don't have. Would you say at 58? Hey there, Michael Beacom. What did you say? Who did you say was at 58 again?
Scuba Pete.
Oh, did I miss? Well, Scuba. I can't go back that far. Something happened. My track jumped on me, and it's not letting me go back past that.
Who's wrenching? Can somebody go grab Scuba Pete's
Scuba?
for me,
I'm sorry,
Pete?
dude. Anybody else who has been missed after Jill? If you wouldn't mind, I hate to ask if you could just put it back in there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Mark D with the C in the meantime. If you're able to do that,
yeah,
please feel free. I am sorry.
We would never leave you out, Scuba Pete.
Yeah, we had this problem a couple weeks ago. With this StreamYard chat. The great Mark D with the C, our chief engineer. I hope you keep it warm out there, big brother. A- says, didn't get to rewatch this because I was stuck watching Eternals. Yes, we put them through some. We reviewed Eternals last night, and that wasn't easy. It's traumatic. You don't want to watch anything after watching that. Ugh. Anyway, I remember loving this episode when first watched it. Reg is awkward, but shows how a normal person could save of the day.
I like how Reg is a normal person to Mark. Mark,
yes,
you were truly my friend. I love you so much.
Indeed. Holodeck scenes were classic. Reg is able to move on from his holodeck addiction, showing he can evolve a much more interesting character than Mikey Spock. P.S. Schultz rules. God, I love Dwight Schultz. That man's amazing.
Eric K found my Scuba Pete.
Okay, we'll be right there. Architectural foam panels and columns. Why all the Wesley hate? I fully back Wesley Crusher. Hey, look, we allow all opinions here. I mean,
Yes.
whatever again, but we do like to have a sense of humor about ourselves. And I full disclosure to you, my friend. I really despise Wesley Crusher, mostly because of the way he was written to be. I don't like
Yeah.
Will Wheaton that
Self-insert.
much, but so we've gone through it a lot on the show. So we do poke fun at Wesley. Some don't dislike him. Many of us do, and I know that's a popular thing. But if you don't, I mean, if you're, if you like the character, hey, that's all fine and good. We all, much like Trek is supposed to be, coexist here, and all opinions are welcome. So, but you will see us joking around about him, poking
Yeah.
fun at him.
Yeah, and architectural foam panels and columns. I want you to know, I say to you with the deepest respect, that I don't hate Wesley. However, I also fully back him. I fully back Wesley Crusher, but I will be backing him out the airlock. Love you, architectural foam
And see,
panels and columns.
we
Sorry.
appreciate you being here. But yeah, we try to, since we don't like the character, but we don't begrudge anyone else who disagrees. We just like to have a lot of fun, and we poke fun at him. We
Yes,
believe
we do.
one of the biggest things this show and my whole channel is about is in ultimately having fun. We'll criticize things, we will praise things, and we like to talk about the things we love. At the same time, if we have a criticism, we will definitely will make it. And the bottom line is, whether we agree or not, this is a TV show. Although Star Trek is far more than a TV show to us, but we do believe that, in having a good bit of fun as well.
And it's also important to mention, architectural foam panels and columns, that one of the reasons why we're pretty open in our criticism of Wesley Crusher is because we take exception with the authorial choice, or sometimes the panel of writers' choice, to create a self-insert of the creator. And as we know, in some of the newer things that are being created for nerds and geeks, the self-inserts abound. They're everywhere. And so because we've called the new stuff on their self-inserts, we're not going to pull any punches when the old stuff has self-inserts. So we call them as we see them, and we try to be fair. So if we have ever said that we did not appreciate a self-insert, that we found it a little narcissistic and a little eye-rolling, we want to make sure that we do that on a retroactive basis as well. So it's all in good fun, and certainly it's just us showing that we are fair and we're not hypocrites, just so you know, and you'll get to know us in that way. But thank you so much for your comment.
Appreciate you very much being here. I think, did you say someone put that?
Yeah,
back in there?
Eric K went and found it, and then so did Wolfie. Did you want me to read it?
Sure, go ahead, because I don't have it. I'm trying to get my chat back into normal.
Okay, so one of my favorite people in the whole universe, like in real life, is Scuba Pete. And Scuba Pete says, I know some think Broccoli was a bit cheesy with his hollow dicking, but I enjoyed his flaws. Great romp.
Well, thank you,
Love you,
Scuba.
Scuba.
We love you, brother. And architectural, the answer is no. We don't write any of the reviews before this. We, in fact, we do it all just off the cuff. We watch the episodes naturally, but then everything we obviously, you may, since we've all seen these episodes before, we may have some, thoughts that are still there. But as far as that, Raquel reads extemporaneously, as she says, from the block text. She hasn't pre-read what she's reading from, and then we just kind of just go off the cuff, talk about the things, or I don't even make notes. She makes notes, at least. I don't even make notes. I'm not that organized. I can't do that kind of thing. I just kind of that's why I forget things all the time, because I don't make notes. But yeah, to answer your question, it's kind of just off the cuff. Zach's the Hulk villain. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, and further to that, what ended up happening is I met Clobby online, and then he and I became friends, and we started talking. So Clobby's been doing podcasting for many years, I think over 10 years.
12.
Yeah, and he had this wonderful show. And so we met and we were friends, and then we got to talking, and we realized that we were both really passionate about Star Trek. And so Clobby said, let's go on and talk about Star Trek, and let's just do it off the cuff. And so I was like, okay. And then we realized we were having a great time. And so then I said to Clobby, Clobby, every single year I watch Star Trek in chronological order. What if we did that as a show? And we won't tell each other what we think of the episodes. I'll read from a text and we'll use it as a launching off point. I'll make some notes while I'm rewatching the episode, and then we'll just throw it in a big pot and mix it in the community. So that's what you're seeing here tonight. It's all organic. It's all off the cuff or extemporaneous. None of it is planned. Nobody pre-writes anything. The only thing that is pre-written is the block text, and I make sure that I read it extemporaneously. I find out what she has to say at the same time you do, so that we can create this wonderful organic response as a group. And in so doing, we're creating the old convention style conversations when Star Trek groups used to get together at cons or even in someone's basement watching the films on VHS and just talk Trek. We wanted that genuine, cool, nostalgic feeling again. So I hope that explains it.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. It does indeed. And the great Wolfie, thank you so much for the generous $10 super chat, my friend. We really appreciate you. Barkley should have made fun of Wesley in return. Kind of did, but on the holodeck, yeah. But shouldn't you be using the large cargo bay replicator to create the amount of acne cream needed for your face? Oh,
deploy the pimple probe. Pimple probes away.
Oh my goodness! I guess let me get to the bottom here, and I think all right. We've got our reviews in a row, I do believe. So now we're going to get on with our next episode. How about that?
Yes, let's do it. We're moving on, folks, to...
There we go. Our next episode is The Most Toys.
Yes. So this is a play, of course, on the idiom, the saying, the most toys wins. You know, he with the most toys at death wins. Yes, The Most Toys, season 3, episode 22. We all watched this for the very first time on May 5th, 1990. And of course, to stay copyright compliant, I am going to be reading extemporaneously excerpts, certainly not the whole text, but excerpts from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block and Terry J. Erdman. And of course, it receives the blessing of Ronald D. Moore and involves many people, a direct original source material interviews with all of the people who worked on TNG. So it's a great little text. And I will be reading from page or block, because this thing looks like a cinder block if you buy it, 153. Let's do it, folks. Data is captured and held against his will by Kivas Fajo, an unethical collector of one-of-a-kind artifacts who thinks that Data will be the jewel in his collection. Although initially unwilling to perform for his captor, Data succumbs to Fajo's demands when Fajo threatens to harm his own innocent assistant if the android refuses to comply. But after the assistant attempts to help Data's escape, Fajo kills her, pushing Data to the brink of behavior that, theoretically at least, contradicts his programming. And there are two wonderful onset pictures here in the book. It says, on the right, you'll see Brent Spiner and veteran actor Nehemiah Persoff.
Yeah, Nehemiah Persoff. I thought that was him.
Yeah, Nehemiah Persoff demonstrate that fans aren't the only ones who like to pose with famous actors. So, of course, Paula M. Block is revealing that on set, Brent Spiner revealed that he is a huge fan of Nehemiah Persoff and requested some on-set stills for his own personal use.
That guy was around forever.
Yes. There is another tile, Captain. So I will continue on block page 154. Ira Stephen Bear has no problem remembering what happened during the production of The Most Toys. Two distinct memories stand out: a sad reflection on a life tragically cut short, and a sweet reminiscence about the late Michael Piller. The sad memory is common knowledge to everyone who worked on The Next Generation in 1990. British actor David Rappaport, perhaps best known to American audiences for his role in Terry Gillingham's Time Bandits and for a reoccurring role in LA Law, was originally cast as the unscrupulous Kivas Fajo. but Rappaport did not appear in the final version of the episode. He was so good in the role, Bear recalls. He filmed for 2 days, and the dailies were phenomenal. He was compelling to watch, a little person with a lot of talent, like Peter Dinklage now and Michael Dunn before him. But he was an unhappy man. After shooting for 2 days, the production shut down for the weekend. But before filming started up again on Monday, the producers received shocking news. Rappaport was in the hospital, the result of a failed suicide attempt. 2 months later, Rappaport again tried to end his own life. Wow. Sadly, this time he was successful.
Oh, man.
The role was hastily recast with Canadian actor Saul Rubinek, school chum of the episode's director Timothy Bond. Although filming in the last minute had to be difficult for Rubinek, he gave a chilling performance and made the role his own. He certainly did.
Yes.
Bear's happy memory is far more personal. It's what I think about most when I remember that show, Bear says. The script dictated that one of the items in Kivas Fajo's collection was a baseball card, but didn't indicate which one. Knowing that Michael Pillar was perhaps the #1 fan of the sport in LA region, Bear consulted with him. Together, the pair decided on Roger Maris's 1962 card, which Bear relates would have had all his stuff from the year before when he hit those 61 homers and beat Babe Ruth's record. At the end of the episode, Michael came up to me and whispered in a very un-Michael-like way, "Hey, Ira, do you think they'd let me keep the card? Do you think they'd give it to me? Because it was an original card, not a mock-up. It wasn't worth that much, but it was real." I said, "Michael, you're the executive producer. Of course they'll give it to you if you ask them." And that's what started his mania for collecting baseball cards. He wound up with an incredible collection, and it all started with this one card. He was a guy who usually kept his emotions in check, but this made him so happy. And then in the text, it says, on the opposite left, the production still of Rappaport as Fajo, and you must see it. The makeup is way more elaborate than we had with Saul Rubinek. And it also says opposite right, Pillar, on the set of a later creation, Star Trek Voyager. Now, there is another tile, but it is quite short. Should I stop reading now to save us time, or should I continue, Captain?
If you think it's a good one to read, go for it, but it's up to you.
It looks like it's got pictures of Brent Spiner, and he's emoting, so I think I'll read it, but I'll be very quick.
Sure, okay.
Is Data capable of murder? We know that his brother Lore certainly was. Dr. Sung created Data without emotion, so he wouldn't be a subject to the abject cruelty that emotional beings are capable of. But it doesn't take emotions to kill. When the appropriate circumstances are in play, Data can defend himself and others, and even fire a phaser set to kill. Did Data try to kill Fajo? The Most Toys writer Shari Goodharts shared her opinion with award-winning comic book author Marv Wolfman on Wolfman's blog.
Wow.
She said, on the set, I asked Brent Spiner whether or not he thought Data purposefully pulled the trigger or not. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy I read this part. And he was adamant that Data did fire the weapon,
yes,
which was my intent as well. But the powers that be wanted it to be kept ambiguous, and so it was. If I had a chance to do it over with all the experience I have behind me now, I would argue passionately for Data's actions and their consequences to have been clear and hopefully more provocative. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad that's one of the first times I've ever read the third tile, and what a great payoff. Hey, Captain.
Nice. Well,
what did you think of the coverage? What did you think of the episode, Captain?
First, a big shout out to my cousin, Dave Raymond. Good to see you there, buddy. And
hello. Dave. Nice to see you.
And hey, Darth Haster. Good to see you there.
Oh, good evening, Darth Haster.
That's some amazing coverage. I forgot. I didn't know that David, no, not Michael Rappaport, it was David Rappaport, everyone. Someone said Michael. What is David, right? The small person?
Yeah, it's
David Rappaport, right?
Yeah. It's I
He
believe it's David. I just know his last name is Rappaport. That's all
see.
I've ever.
I,
Let me
no, I got
see.
you. That's all right. I remember the story back when he had committed suicide. I did not know he was doing this episode though till right now.
Yeah,
So that's amazing. He was a really good actor. Sal Rubinek is a terrific actor also.
Canadian.
Saul. Excuse me. He was really good on Warehouse 13, and he's been good in a lot of stuff. Really, really excellent actor. Yeah, Michael was the Radical Rappaport was a different actor there, Max.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did not know that about David Rappaport was also on a show that only lasted like half a season called The Wizard, where they were trying to make him like this really genius inventor who solved crimes with inventions and stuff. That was kind of, I don't know if anyone ever remembers that one, but short-lived indeed. And someone here will probably remember it. So, anyway, but that is some amazing coverage because I did not know that, and I didn't know that about Michael Pillar either. I know it's sad because he did pass away and stuff. I really, really like this episode a lot. Always have. Really, I mean, I think
Me too.
this is great Data stuff right here. He did fire that weapon, and I'm glad. I think that's another fascinating thing about the coverage that we, that they wanted to leave it ambiguous, but and they mentioned Marv Wolfman, one of my favorite all-time comic writers.
Yeah,
but
that was cool that he interviewed Shari Goodhart.
Yes.
That because she wrote this episode, so the fact that the comic book guy, a geek guy, interviewed Shari Goodhart that's excellent.
Absolutely, and this is just a thoroughly fascinating episode, especially the Data and Saul stuff, but of course also some of the stuff on the Enterprise when they think Data is gone. There's some good stuff there with Geordi and everything, and just a thoroughly entertaining episode, an interesting story, and he fired that weapon. There's no question about it. That's the thing that there's no two ways about it. He discharged it because they said so. I mean, so I guess you could say that Data became human.
Yeah.
Because he not only tried to kill someone for revenge, he lied about it.
Yeah.
Is this Data's I don't know, evolution or devolution into being a human? I don't know, but it's pretty disturbing, which is one of the fun things about the episode, actually. One of the fascinating things about this episode.
Yeah.
Well, not Mr. Wizard, Dark, though. It's called The Wizard. It lasted less than a season on CBS or one of those. So.
Yeah, for me, I felt as though it looked like, this is just me. But whenever I watch this episode, I just think of Data standing there, and I feel like his little neural net is processing how this person is truly, evil personified, and how if he does not stop this person is going to keep going. So I just think that the way that he murders her, it just, Varia, I think it just, yeah. And once again, it's that disruptor technology that we see a lot in Star Trek that is really scary and awful, because of course everyone here, if you know me as a Trekkie, I definitely don't like the disruptor weapons, because they are excruciatingly painful, they're depraved, they're awful. So and that's my impression of what Data did, and I was pretty proud of him. But the fact that he lied.
So, well, it's interesting. Architectural says the lie is the moment he became human. Was it that, or was it when he acted out of anger and revenge to kill a guy? I mean, they compound each other, but yeah, it's fascinating. I don't know. He's human now. I mean, and maybe that, I don't know, maybe he didn't need the emotion chip later, but wow, it's pretty heavy stuff there. But they never really go back to it at that point, or at least not on the show, right? So
yeah.
But yes, that was interesting. It was a Max Redstone said. I did. Oh, by the way, Monkey Jeebus, good to see you, buddy. I didn't know.
David Rayburn says, "Come on, phasers don't hurt."
No, they actually kind of don't, because it's instantaneous.
That's right. So the phaser on kill is instantaneous. The stun settings on the phaser hurt, and they definitely hurt when it's maximum stun. They hurt like a mother effer. But the kill setting, I don't believe it hurts. It instantly kills. Whereas a disruptor,
it's instantaneous. Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
instantaneous. Yeah.
I wouldn't think so, David, because like we were saying, I mean, so quick, but yeah. But either way, I mean, the other one was quick, but not as quick, and it's pretty painful. I did not know that Gates McFadden starred in the pilot of The Wizard. Wow. Thank you, Max.
Max Redstone. Excellent.
Nice. I thought Claude and I would be the only ones that even remembered The Wizard. So, I mean, and the guy from the Fall Guy was on there. The guy, whatever, Douglas Barr was on there. Yeah. But good Lord, I didn't think of anyone. There's those shows you just think maybe you saw it. I've talked about that a lot, and that no one else ever heard of it. That's one of those. Yeah. So anyway, where be we? Okay, so yes, I really just thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and again, we talk about this a lot. Some episodes that feature Data and give Brent Spiner the spotlight are almost always extraordinary, and because Data's just such a great character. So, notes.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the wonderful little person Rappaport. I knew about him. Obviously, Paula said it a lot better than I did, so I won't rehash that. What else did I put in my notes? Patrick Stewart says Fago and Fajo interchangeably. Oh, Patty Stew. This episode inspired the Orville episode Command Performance, the Caliban Zoo. Jordy, I put in yelling all caps. Jordy sleeps on the worst pillows. How does he sleep on that? Because it literally looks like a block of cheese. When he falls asleep, look at the pillow. Whenever I see this episode, I just think to myself, you're not sleeping on that. Anyway, Paler Toff picks his nose on camera. And of course, Nehemiah Persoff does that on purpose.
He does.
And it just shows what an amazing actor Nehemiah Persoff is. And I love too that he picks the central nostril so that we realize it's not that he's uncomfortable with the prosthetic. It's that he's trying to show the crassness, the baseness of these space pirates, these people who collect human beings. So, I doff my cap to the wonderful Nehemiah Persoff, who did a pick on camera to create this sort of revulsion in the character. And it was terrific. And that's all I wrote.
Nehemiah Persoff lived to be like 100-something. I mean, he was around for a long time, that dude.
Mm-hmm.
But when I don't know. He's been on so much, but
yeah, Jill. He also wears his uniform to bed, but I can buy that because I know physicians amongst all of the doctors and PhDs that I know, the doctorates and the PhDs. I do know several physicians, so I do understand that when you're in high demand at work, how you don't get out of your clothes, you just basically go and catch a few winks, and then you get your butt right back to duty. So I can forgive that. But Jill, look at that pillow. Isn't that pillow ridiculous? It's like a Toblerone bar, like a giant steel Toblerone bar would be easier to sleep on than that. Like, it's a perfect rectangle. It's rectangular, and it's just so bad. Anyway.
Well, what is your rating of the most toys? Number one?
The most toys for me is some of the best of Star Trek. There's really nothing to say about it. It's just marvelous. There's nothing to deconstruct here. It's just excellent. It's an A.
A here as well. I give it a solid A. Great episode. And my wonderful chat friends, please now put in any rating you might have, and of course, any comments you may have. Go.
The word is given. Fire at will.
Word is given. Fire at will, Riker. Yes. So it won't take long. We'll get some ratings. One, boom, boom, one, 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 one. Look who is here, Mr. Tickle Trunk. What is
the comment? Can you start over?
Yes, I'm gonna start over, folks. Now, I'm sorry,
Mr. Tickle Trunk.
I would if I could, buddy. What if I could?
You were missed as well, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and you might be late, but you know what? Better late than never, and we're so happy you're here.
Absolutely. Always great to see you, my friend. Let's see. Let's say, or so we're gonna get some reviews coming in here. All right. Okay. What's my first one? Hang on a second, folks. Make sure I'm at the top of my reviews. Kal-El, buddy, says A plus. I really enjoyed this episode because it showed that greed wasn't quite gone in the 24th century. Data's reaction to Varia's death was chilling, and his final words to Fajo were very satisfying. Yes, yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, and can I just say that Kal-El is constantly showing his morals and ethics, and I just absolutely love it, Clubby. I love that Kal-El is such a moral and ethical person, and that was a terrific comment, sir.
Well, fans of Superman, of the real Superman, always are.
Yeah.
Mega Cropper B plus. All righty, thank you, Mega Cropper. It's good to see you here. By the way, thank you for being here. Sandra Feliciano says A, an exploration in becoming more human. He was willing to sacrifice his own wants to protect another, and acted when he saw no option other than removing an evil man so he couldn't hurt anyone else.
I totally agree.
Wow, good point.
I totally agree. I 100% agree with that.
And Raymond says A plus. One of the better episodes. It shows what Data does when he is confronted with true evil.
Yeah.
I especially enjoyed that last dig that he did when he said to Fajo that he's only an android.
Yeah.
He said, I have no desires, or I have no I don't feel pleasure, or whatever it was, right?
Shari Goodhart, Raymond Feliciano, who is also an author, so I do have to speak directly to him, everyone, if you'll forgive me. Shari Goodhart is a very intelligent writer, isn't she, Raymond? That the dialogue is it feels very real, and it feels very natural. There's nothing forced in this episode as far as dialogue goes, and I really love it. Shari Goodhart did a great job here.
Indeed. Snortopupos says A. Sal Rubinek plays Fajo almost comedically at first, but quickly reveals himself as totally immoral. The interaction between him and Data's passive calm and illogical resistance is wonderful. It is. Saul's a great. He was great on Warehouse 13. That's a pretty fun show. Let's see here. Fajo's evil is fully revealed when he kills his erstwhile helper Varia for betraying him. And Data's response is to attempt to kill him, but is interrupted in mid-act by a timely beam out. All of this is even more troubling because he dodges Riker's comment about the weapon having been fired. He lies is what he does. Data has moved further along in his quest for humanity than he or anyone else realizes. Absolutely.
Somebody throw that bear a salmon. That bear needs some salmon.
Indeed.
Snorty. And chin scritchies.
And chin scritchies for Snorty there. Let's see here. Before we get to this Esh pick, we'll do this one in the middle of it here. Hungry Boy says, I'm a big fan of Rubinek and love bottle episodes. Dialogue was fab. And Jane Daly is a fave actress. Oh, from one of my favorite creepy movies, Dynamic Psychological Comparisons. I give it an A minus.
Good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
The great Eric K, though, gives it a C minus. Data could not touch him, but he should have just picked something up and threw it at him, disabling him, and the device to prevent him from touching him. Dumb plot. Data can kill when he needs to. I don't know.
Eric, you're starting to talk like you were a science fiction author. It sounds to me like you should be writing some stories, because that would certainly be a thrilling twist if something like that were to happen. So get writing, Eric.
And now we have the great enigmatic drop bear. Take it away, number one.
Yay! Okay, so enigmatic drop bear is doing a 4-parter here, and he's giving the episode a B+. He says this and Ménage à Trois could be interpreted as fan trolling. Here we have the entitled obsessive collector, and Ménage teases the departure of Wesley only to award him a promotion.
I don't know how he gets that little thingy over the E and the A. I don't have the possible capability to do that on mine.
All you have to do is hold down the key, and then a little box will appear. A little dialog box will automatically appear on your computer, and it will give you all of the inflections from the most popular languages. And in that case, you would choose selection number 2.
Oh well, I'll know next time. It'll just have
Yeah.
to look stupid on the picture when we pull it up in a minute.
Oh, that's okay.
Let's see here. Go ahead.
Okay, so 2 of 4. Enigmatic Drop Bear says Kivas Fajo is manically comical, yet disturbing and unsettling. He's familiar to us as the pretentious type with a superiority complex stemming from knowledge of a niche domain.
Let's see.
3 of 4. The episode skirts with Isaac Asimov's laws of robotics. Data's deadpan cynicism and use of deception is unsettling. Does he possess some of Laura's programming? Is he more human than he lets on? The ambiguous ending left us with some darker questions to consider. Perhaps Data has learned to feign innocence to avoid Laura's fate. Ooh, enigmatic Drop Bear. You should also be writing some stories. And that was a wonderful review as per usual. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Excellent. Clobby, I thought this was another great episode, says the Catman, aka D.D. Myers. I would have liked to see more episodes along these lines, I think it means. I give this episode an A. Extremely interesting story and love all of Data's lines.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I agree, Catman.
Max Redstone says, "Hey, I call this episode Wall Street, the next generation for the excess of the Saul Rubin. Oh, I gotcha. What is Jordy sleeping on? I guess my pillow. Guess my pillow guy doesn't make it to the 24th century."
Max, why are you making me ugly laugh on air?
The gems of this episode are the emotions that Data arouses not only in others but also himself. Data is now a murdering liar. Welcome to the human race. Good point.
Oh, Max Redstone, what a profound thing to say.
Yep. Scary stuff. Love it. J.T. Kirk says, the only question I have is, where can I buy my own very own tea disruptor?
Yeah.
I don't know. They confiscated it, but I'm sure you can probably get one from the Ferengi.
Yes, they're banned all over the galaxy, but certainly the Ferengi must have one.
Well, Quark can get you one. Just go to
Quark can get you one for sure.
Yeah. And now we have our wonderful antiderivative Jill with another expert. Take it away, number 1.
Well, before we do that, I have to do something for Scuba Pete. I love gold. Okay, here we go. Antiderivative Jill has an Esh pick. It's a 6-parter, and she's given this episode a B. Jill says, I recall Futurama doing a parody on this, and they may have even done it better. Data endures the ordeal of becoming prisoner to a selfish, it's hard not to curse here, Raquel. I hate him. I love you, Jill. 2 of 6. The personal force field that works against positronics is quite convenient, funny, and reminds me of Stargate. His other quote-unquote toys were interesting too, like the puppet creature. Lou.
That was a honeymooner's joke.
3 of 6. Data's Gandhi-like defiance had me cheering throughout his captivity, but also raging when Fajo ultimately molests him out of his Starfleet uniform. Frozen Data was awesome. Data's great.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, Data's great, and Fajo does a wonderful job of making me hate him. But they're required to do all the heavy lifting. It was odd, only Geordi seemed truly disturbed at Data's death.
Good point.
Fajo made the mistake of lecturing Data to the logic of why he must kill Fajo to prevent him from harming and killing others. Yes. Data goes against his programming for this and lies about it. At that moment, he became more human without realizing it. Antiderivative Jill, are you
Yep.
sitting down? Communications officer, please stand up and take a bow while I clap for you. I love you, Jill. That was an amazing review. Love you, love you. Thank you so much.
Indeed, indeed. A plus from John, JPR PH1 episode. I liked how A plus episode. I'm sorry. I liked how Data shows so much character in humanity. Saul Rubinek is a favorite actor of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He is really good. He's always good.
Yep.
A plus from Scuba Peach says it sits in the chair, or else it gets the cloth eating acid again. It rubs the lotion on its skin, or it gets the water again. Whatever. Yeah. Yep. Good one. That was a Silence of the Lambs joke. I shouldn't have to explain that, everyone, but just in case. I loved the tension in this one. Fajo, can you hear me?
I think he means that song. Fajo, can you hear me?
Oh, that one I missed.
And also, I love gold.
Oh, you mean from Gold Member?
Yeah.
I love gold.
Love you, Scuba.
Fabioki says, I give it an A minus. A great episode. A great Data episode. Britt never disappoints when he gets the spotlight. That is absolutely true. Yeah, he's always just magnificent.
So true.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Wolfie says, rating A. Who would not want a Variant T disruptor with bubblegum aroma to put under your pillow? JK, just kidding. I love this episode and the commentary on the reality of material wealth.
Yeah. And what a pillow you would put it under, Wolfie.
Michael Bacon, A. Good trek exploring human values, giving our characters difficult decisions. And love Sal Rubinek and everything, so that elevates it.
Yeah.
Seems to be the consensus. He's always a very well-liked actor because he's a quirky actor. And he's always, I didn't get to see all of Warehouse 13, but I used to watch it. I've seen him in other stuff before that, but he was really good on that. And that was actually a pretty cool show. I need to go back and rewatch it. Steve Mitchell says, 1 of the square root of 1. I didn't watch this one again because I remember being angry at how immoral the Fajo character was and how he got his way so much of the time. So a C, but I'm odd.
No, you're not odd. It's the fact that you take it seriously and it bothers you. People with really, really, really evil people, villains, like truly evil people, when they are brought to life on screen in such a compelling and believable way, it can be disturbing. And if that makes you not want to watch it and that makes you want to give it a bad review, I love you, Steve Mitchum. Don't ever change. I love you just the way you are. Keep your morals as high as they are. Keep your ethics as high as they are. And you are allowed to be disturbed by this kind of depravity. So love you, love you.
Indeed, it's buddy. A for Mr. Tickle Trunk. Rushing to type this. This is among my 10 favorite TNG episodes. I think nice. Data showed some humanity in this because he fires the disruptor. The Data we know normally wouldn't have done that. He's definitely changed in this one. So it's a Data change episode. Faja's name just reminds me of Goldmember now instead of TNG. Hello, Maja. Hello, Faja.
Hello, Maja.
Faja.
Hello, Faja.
Here I am at Cap Granada.
Yes!
Rubinek is an incredible actor. He shines in this. The man's journalism speech in SG1 masterful. Oh, okay. Was he in that? Okay, there you go. See, even though Raquel just explained it to me, Max, I still don't know how to do that one. And then I will never learn how because I can't learn things.
It might actually have absolutely nothing to do with you if you went into the chat right now or even into our private chat and pressed down the E key and held it. And if a little dialogue bubble did not appear immediately, in which case you would continue holding down the E key and then also tap the number 2. If it did not produce that accent above it, it could also be the fact that your keyboard or your operating system is too old.
It doesn't. When I press E, it just gives me a million E's.
Okay, yeah, your operating system is too old. We better upgrade you, Clobby. We're gonna have to make sure that the virtual comic book store is taking in a little bit more money.
When will I ever need that again? Nobody. All right, where were I? I hope this thing didn't jump on me. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find more reviews. I gotta go slow because this thing's wanting to jump.
Max Redstone. I love gold.
That's a good point, though, Michael Bingham. Note that although Data's actions are atypical, none of us attribute it to bad writing. Agreed. It was interesting writing for sure.
Oh yeah, and I love that Michael's saying that, because Michael Beacom, sometimes when they betray our characters, when the behavior is atypical, we know it's a betrayal and we call it out immediately. Herein, it is true. It is true, and we're feeling it. And some of us are disturbed, and some of us are uncomfortable. Some of us are happy for Pinocchio, and some of us are scared that Pinocchio acted in this way. So yeah, it really is great writing, and Shari Goodhart did such a great job with this. Michael Beacom, I don't know if you were here for my comment when I said this, but I also found the dialogue very compelling. It felt very real and very natural. So I always love your comments, Michael. So welcome, and great stuff.
Indeedishness, sir. Thank you. Model D with a C, the chief engineer. Hope you keep warm out there, brother. A+. Data fired first. Episode works due to Rubinek's skill in making you despise Fazio as an evil collector. Brilliant closing quote to the episode. Let's see. Fazio remarked, "It must give you great pleasure." Data replies, "No, sir, it does not. I do not feel pleasure. I am only an android."
Yeah,
that was truly great. God, it was so good. Love the evolution. By the way, I'm only an android, not an eternal android either. Never mind. Love smack it. Or you can never smack Eternals too much. Love the evolution of the character. Data has now become a real boy. Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Our Pinocchio.
Our Pinocchio, indeed. P.S. I hope Fazio doesn't come after my collection. Thankfully, I'm armed with phasers. But are you? What about Varion T disruptor thingies?
That's an inside joke for folks at home. If you're not familiar with Mark D with a C, Mark D with a C has a collection that warrants an actual museum. Like an actual museum. He has all of the replicas, the toys, the comics. It's just marvelous. And you can learn more about that if you tune into his YouTube channel. So please follow Mark D with a C and learn all about that. He has a couple of shows actually where he covers toys and replicas.
Yes, including Sunday nights. Tomorrow night he'll have a show. Hopefully, I hope so.
Yeah.
And he has videos too.
Yeah, and what does he call it again, Clubby? It's called enabling. Yes, enabling.
The videos are enabling the Sunday night geekery.
Enabling, of course, in this context, meaning that Mark spends too much money on the toys and replicas like the rest of us. So he thought that it was a very cool, geeky, and nerdy name, and I love it. Enabling with Mark D with a C.
Indeed. Well, hello there, Laura Caroso. It is good to see you. Thank you. And Alaric says, "Hey, wonderful conversation starter over Asimov's three laws of arithmetics." Yes, Spiner gives an excellent performance and hints to the sophistication of Data's AI, and all plays great against the immoral Fazio.
Agreed, Alaric.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Steve.
Did you just see what Enigmatic Drop Bear just said? Oh, you are a very clever human. I do love you, because that's exactly how I think and how I feel. What a profound statement. I absolutely love this. Fazio derives pleasure from exclusivity. His possession denies joy to others. Yeah. And that is that personification of evil that irks Steve Mitchum, is that this guy is truly, truly evil, because it's not just about having the objects, but it's the fact that no one else has the objects. So wonderful. Yes. I absolutely love it. Enigmatic Drop Bear. Keep lighting up that chat, sir.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Justin Army, hello there. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for popping in. Let's see here.
Max says if Asimov knew about Wesley, there would have been a fourth law. Why do you always make me ugly laugh on air, Max? Oh, so funny.
Okay, I think we're about ready to move on to our third of our 4 episodes of the evening. What do you think?
I'm good to go. Everybody, we didn't miss anyone, right? We got everyone. We can move on.
I hope we got everyone. I'm just going to say this: if something happens that we did miss, I try not to, as you all know. But just wait for the review of the next one and put 2 of them in there if you have to. You're more than welcome to do that. We want to hear from everyone who can. You don't have to. By the way, some hang out and don't review. That's cool too.
Yes, you're allowed to lurk.
We love the lurk. We love if you just talk and you don't have to review anything. Either way, thank you, Jill, for the wonderful 149 super sticker. You are too kind. We love you. Thank you so much. So, well, I prefer Data's Day. Yeah, well, that was coming eventually. Hey, look, Sherry. Hey, Sherry.
Hey, Sherry. Nice to see you.
Lovely Sherry, as always.
Welcome.
A pleasure to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you here, sweet lady. And let's see here. Let us move on to how about our next episode? What do you think?
I think so, Captain.
No, right. Well, the
crew is ready.
Our next episode, folks, is Sarek.
Yep, season 3, episode 23. And we all watched this for the very first time on May 14th, 1990. So I'm going to be reading an excerpt from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block and Terry J. Erdman. This book has been blessed by Ronald D. Moore and includes coverage from original source material and interviews from cast and production. If you're following along in the text, we are on block, brick, or page, because this is an odd-looking book, looks like a cinder block. We are on page 156. I will be reading extemporaneously from this text, and then we'll discuss it. The success of a mission to establish diplomatic negotiations between the Federation and the Ligarans is thrown into doubt after Captain Picard learns that Sarek, the esteemed Vulcan ambassador who was to conduct the negotiations, is suffering from an incurable disease that causes a loss of emotional control. The Ligarans will speak only to Sarek, who clearly is unfit to deal with them. For the sake of the mission and the salvation of the Vulcan's pride, Picard offers Sarek the loan of something very precious, the captain's own mental stability. There is another tile. I will be reading tile 157. Gene Roddenberry had made it clear since TNG's inception that he didn't want to bring in baggage from the first Star Trek. In the seasons that followed, the prohibition against using Klingons and Romulans had gone by the wayside, but there was still sensitivity regarding familiar characters. Gene was the idea man, but a lot of things that made Star Trek work were brought in by others. Actor Mark Lenard said in 1994, "When he created The Next Generation, I believe he moved it ahead in time so there would be no doubt that none of the old characters would still be around." No, Mark Lenard, I love you, but that's not what happened. Phase 2, honey. I love you, Mark. Shh, be quiet, Mark. Anyway, that way, Lenard suggested he could demonstrate that the new show rested on its own laurels. But sometimes, and minds change, including Gene Roddenberry's. One day I was in Gene's office, Lenard recalled, and said, "You know, it's about time that Sarek comes back. After all, Vulcans age very slowly. I thought this was a good way to put it. Not that they live a long time, but that they age very slowly. And I'm glad they age slowly, because it took 1.5 years before they found a script for me to play." That's pretty cute. Sarek indeed had aged by 100 years since Lenard last played him. Yet the actor didn't feel a need to study the ways of the elderly. "I left that to the script and the makeup man," he said. "In this one, I was so old that my ears had wrinkles. The script dealt with a Vulcan with a very rare disease, kind of a version of Alzheimer's," Lenard continued. "I knew something about that. We used to call it senility when I was a kid. That's true. So I didn't consciously do a lot of stuff. Part of it was just what the script demanded, and the other part was just instinct. Sarek marked Leonard's first opportunity to work with Patrick Stewart, and he enjoyed their collaboration. Patrick was young and professional, and his acting was simple, pure, and clean, he said. There's a great confidence in Patrick that's very important for an actor. Well, there's confidence there, all right. No, not shy of confidence. When he had that emotional scene, he did it with great skill. And when he was just behaving himself, he did that with great skill too. Oh, there's another tile. Should I keep going?
Sure.
Yeah, I think this one might be interesting, judging by the fact that there's a picture of Leonard Nimoy on it. Let's see. I'll go fast, I promise.
No problem.
Sarek is lauded as one of TNG's finest hours, but the script was not complete without a battle or two. The most hard-fought concerning the use of one word, the Battle of Helm's Deep, had nothing on the battle of the use of Spock's name. Oh my God, groans Ira Stephen Bear. I couldn't believe it. I mean, they used McCoy in the pilot, and despite Rick's pronouncement that we never referenced the old series, never ever, he agreed to do this show about Sarek, which was already referencing it. So Ron Moore and I were working on the rewrite and the long mind meld scene, and we wrote that. At one point, Picard's Sarek yells, Spock! And Rick said, take it out! It was a 2-week battle. We kept losing. Then finally one day, I was in his office talking about a different episode. We were having fun, joking around, and out of nowhere, he says, Rick tells me again why we can't just say the word Spock. His body stretched backward in his chair, and his body language was like, gee, damn it, not that again, he swears, but I won't. And then he leaned forward and said very simply, I don't know. So I asked again, can we just say Spock? And finally he said, yeah, but it's the only time we're ever going to do it. Fine, I said. He just didn't want to argue about it again. While Berman clearly had a high regard for the man who'd brought him into the franchise, there was a palpable feeling around the office that Gene Roddenberry's involvement in TNG was waning. Well, yeah, he was dying. Come on, Paula. In an interview several years later, Michael Piller recalled that the portrayal of Sarek reminded him of the reality of Gene Roddenberry's deteriorating physical state. It was clear that Gene was not the same man that he had been, Piller said. We all respected him so much, and he'd been so important, a strong leader of the franchise and everything it stood for. But here was this great man going into decline. I immediately felt a very strong connection to the premise of Sarek because I could see that it was really about the universe we lived in on a daily basis. Star Trek barriers to its beginnings were breached with that episode. The mention of Spock was the breakthrough that allowed us to open the doors, that allowed us to embrace our past, Piller said. From that point, Star Trek adventures would be played out over a much broader canvas. And then, of course, it says, or on the right, he who must not be named. And Paul is not really being truthful here, because if you know about Phase 2, and if you know about what happened at that time, you know that Gene wrote the Bible for TNG with very specific things in mind, and he didn't just want people rewriting TOS episodes. So I think that should be clarified in the writing here. So I do find that a little bit disappointing, because they make it seem as though Gene Roddenberry just emptily put a kibosh on this, make it their a kibosh on anything from the previous series, because they wanted to make it their own and they wanted to own it. That's not quite true. If you know the history of Star Trek and the transition and what happened in the failure to bring the series to life under Bill Shatner and others, you know why that new show Bible popped up. He did not want to just keep redoing things over and over again. What he was doing is he was preventing them from making a sequel. He didn't want a sequel. And that's what Paula should have said here. To say anything else is to betray the truth of what actually happened there. Anyway, other than that, Clobby, what did you think of the coverage, and what did you think of the episode?
Very interesting coverage there. I've always just, as I say, as a fan, you read things, you hear people talking. A lot of people, would talk amongst each other and would say things like, "Yeah, Roddenberry doesn't even want to mention, any kind of mention of Real Trek, as we used to call it back then, because we were hard headed about this." But yeah, so that's very interesting. Hey, Steve Mitchum, thank you, buddy, for being here tonight. Take care,
Good
bro.
night, Steve Mitchum. You are not extremely aged. If you are, we're all
Yep.
in huge trouble because we're all around your
buddy.
same age. We love you very much. Please kiss
Yeah.
Maddie for me. And thank you so much for stopping by and spending
night,
time
bud.
with us.
Appreciate
I
you.
enjoy your company immensely, Steve Mitchum. Good night.
All right, man. Good to see you, buddy. So, hey, Phantom Outsider, look, there you are. Dude,
Hey,
up,
where were you during Clobby's Clubhouse? I missed you. I was talking about my comics and you weren't there. Of course, I had Hungry Boy and I had Clobby and I had Mark there and I had some other experts there. But where the heck were you? I sure missed you, Phantom Outsider.
Just glad to see you, bud. Thanks for popping in. And, I thought it was very interesting coverage because there was some stuff I was at least not clear on. So that's good. And, of course, I do like the episode very much. I mean, see this, how are you not going to, unless they just did something that that was so horrible to the character of Sarek that I would just be, seeing Mark Leonard's going to just hit me in the heart. I'm not going to use that feels word like kiddies do now.
Yeah.
But it gets you to see him. And, you could certainly understand him, being so old that he would have something wrong with him like that. So thought that's a fine element to the story. I found this to be, again, is it exactly, does it live up to the way I would want to see a return of Sarek? For me, maybe it falls a little short in some ways, but I do think it's a fine episode. I do think we're getting, at the time especially, man, when we get Mark Leonard back as Sarek, it's a big deal.
It is. And
I'm just going nuts over it back then. And so I really do like this episode. I'm not saying that they couldn't have done something perhaps a little bit better with him, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. I absolutely love this episode. I think it's a wonderful episode.
Yes, it is. And I think some of the stuff with everybody getting all the fights on the ship and all that stuff was kind of funny, but it was mostly a serious episode and a serious story. So notes.
Yeah, I do love that comical confrontation at 10 Forward when Worf turns and says to him, "I hadn't noticed," and then he opened up the door. So funny. Anyway, I don't have very many notes here because I find this episode very satisfying. As most people know, I am a massive Leonard Nimoy fan. I love the Vulcan characters. Obviously, as you can see from my avatar tonight, that I cosplay Vulcanians. And I love Mark Leonard. I absolutely love the character Sarek. I consider him like the second best Vulcan of all Vulcanians. So all I put on here, because I just find it very satisfying and I find nothing to pick on. So I just said, Patty Stew pronounces Mozart as Moat-Zart. There is no moat around the castle of Mozart. And then I put Wesley slaps. Wesley needs way more slaps. And then I put an exclamation point. And then I put, I thought you would like this, Clobby, because I actually thought of you about the 10 Forward mess. I said, knock down, drag out, fight in the saloon. And those are all my notes, Captain. I find this episode incredibly satisfying, and I have nothing bad to say about it.
Me either. It's touching. You're so happy to see him. Like I said, maybe I would like more just because it's Sarek, as far as like a two-parter or something. But it's a great episode. And what's that? Oh, somebody put Mozart. Yeah.
Yeah, he says Mozart. Like there's a there's a moat around the castle and it's protecting the king and queen. It's Mozart. Anyway,
I kept waiting for them to talk about Spock at least, so at least we get Picard saying the name and stuff. That was something. You know, it might not mean much to some people, but that was pretty good. So what could you do? Hello there, Oliver Belamonte. Welcome. Good to see you.
hello, Oliver.
Always a pleasure. So, what is your rating of Sarek number 1?
This is an A+ for me.
All right, we finally got an A+ out of you tonight.
Yes,
Okay.
A+ for sure.
All righty. Well, my rating is, and we're about to get yours, folks. Mine is an A, and so go for it. Go for it, chat. What is your rating, man?
The word is given. Fire at will.
I've been A and above 3 times in a row now tonight.
It's a good season. I mean,
That's
okay. I'm not gonna
streak.
No spoilers.
That's a good streak right there.
No spoilers, but it's all coming to a crashing.
Gotta catch this. Oh man, it jumped on me. Hang on a second, everybody.
Oh no!
Circle events. All right. Nope. Wait.
Oh,
look, I think Jill got in there first this time. So
what?
I think so.
Quick draw McGraw.
Oh my goodness, it might be a record 9-ish pick there. Anti-derivative Jill. So well, hey, go for it. Number 1.
Hello, you gorgeous nerd. I love ya. Let's do it. Anti-derivative Jill, our communications officer, has just filed a 9-page report. She is giving this episode an A+. She says, this is how you bring in elements of TOS without violating the Bible. Yes, baby. And Jill knows this because, like me, Jill has actually read the Bible. Anyway, it's a unique perspective having to deal with the effects of aging in Vulcans, or as I like to call them, Vulcanians. Spock's married?
Huh?
Yeah. Keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Picard went to Spock's wedding, right? Anyway,
right.
2 of 9.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. You get more action out of a good book than you'll ever see on this date. I'll guarantee it. Damn, what is Jordy reading?
Let me get you your next one there, Jill. Hang on, I gotta find it. Oh my goodness, it's way down there. I gotta be careful with this chat now. So hang on a second, Jiller. Whoa, okay, 3. Good.
3 out of 9. She says the slow build from slight annoyance to the inability to meditate, the tear, and then the crescendo of anger with Picard is palpable and perfectly paced to put you on edge. Listen to that alliteration.
There you go.
4 of 9. Beverly losing it was worth it just for that slap. Yeah, I actually wish she would have slapped him harder.
That is like one of the greatest scenes of all time, right there.
Yeah, and I love the way she describes it to Deanna. And I slapped him hard. Anyway,
said, can I go next? I'm sorry.
Pardon?
Then she said, "Can I go next?" Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're making me ugly laugh. You and Max, you're terrible. Okay, here we go. 5 of 9. Jill says, everyone's anger outbursts are so fun because we normally never get to see anyone on the ship behaving so rashly and violently. Since Starfleet officers are trained to be respectful and rational, unless you're talking about the Decker unit. He's like an unfixed dog at a dinner party. Anyway, 6 out of 9. This episode would never work in the filth because violence and anger is their default nature. You would never suspect anything is amiss. Oh, yes.
So true, Jill.
Violence is the norm. Love it, Jill. 7 of 9. Communications officer says the fight in 10 forward is a marvel, and it would have been a good moment for Guinan to bring out her phaser rifle. Yes, but I won't knock it for that because that is revealed next season. Yes, and I think that's why Guinan actually gets the weapon is because of this saloon fight. 8 of 9. All of the scenes with Sarek and Picard, including when Picard is suffering from Sarek's overly intense emotions, were my favorite parts of the episode as they were striking and powerful. 9 of 9. I'd complain that given Vulcan's emotions are too powerful for humans, that they probably should have sedated Picard to prevent insanity. Why do you Jill, get out of my brain? I think that every single time. Why doesn't Beverly sedate him? Jill, get out of my head, Jill. Anyway, but I won't, because we would have missed that amazing scene. Yeah, but it is kind of freaky that she lets them go through it, like, quote unquote, naturally. Do you know what I mean, Jill? Because it's just like, at one point, you would think that Beverly would step in and be like, "It's okay, Jean-Luc. Here, have a Valium." Anyway, Jill, that was a sensational review, and I love you, you nerdy nerd. You're the best.
Well done, Jill. Snorty says A+. What can I say? Mark Leonard, as always, is excellent as Sarek. Even Patty Stew turns in a fine performance, highlighting Sarek's anguish, confusion, and inner turmoil. That is him. Where you at, Snort? I'm on my way, Snort. I'm trying to find you, buddy. Wow. Snort, I'm going to have to try to get to you when I can find you. I can't. Your second part I'm sure it's on here somewhere, brother. But I'm not seeing it. So I'll go with the ones I have. Snort, I'll get to your second part as soon as I can. I'm so sorry, man. I'm trying to keep the chat from jumping on me. It's piling up. Max Redstone says, and I'll read you. First of all, before we get to that, Max Redstone had something special for us, a limerick from before. And I guess, we should do that because it was passed on by the great Eric K. He says, let's see here.
Okay.
Clobbering Times has a shrine. It is much different than mine. It's a bit of a musher. It's for Wesley Crusher. Because Clobby secretly thinks that he's divine. Well,
now Eric's going to keep that. Eric is going to super chat that to you down the road. When you least expect it, when you forget about it, Eric's going to super chat you that.
No, don't super chat that, Eric, because it doesn't. It shouldn't. I'm just saying, you could just post it. You don't have to pay money to do it. But,
no, I don't mean that. I mean, I'm saying that I think he's going to do it to you, like, not
I already
tonight.
have it.
Like, I think he's going to do it to you down the line. So on some show, you're going to just go to one of his comments, you're going to read it, and it's going to be that limerick.
Max Redstone, I know where you live. I really don't, but I'm just trying to say. Max says, A, he gives it an A. Wussy got slapped. Riker got jacked. Picard cried and yelled at Riker. It's like a song also.
It is.
Sarek goes home. No, sorry. Sarek goes full of mock time. An epic brawl and a 10 forward. Hell, I'm surprised that Data wasn't affected.
Oh,
yeah, well,
lovely.
So am I.
Max.
What is the deal with Kai Mendrosen? Kai Mendrosen? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know the human did her. Yes. He wasn't Vulcan. He was like Sarek's road manager. Yes. Since when does a Vulcan need a road manager, much less a human one, right? Oh well. Ponfar and ales for everyone. Thank you.
I believe that Kai Mendrosen is actually the liaison for the ambassador
for the Federation. Yeah.
For the Federation, yeah.
Yeah. Raymond Feliciano says 5. I'm sorry. A+, top 5 episode, a study on what happens to the elderly. The emotions and breakdown on an esteemed legend was heartbreaking. The mind meld on how Picard reacted to it was touching.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
The great Eric K. Troublemaker.
I love Eric. He's going to get you with that too. That
Eric K is mean to me. Oh no.
That limerick is not going away.
Oh, it'll go away all right. Well, I read it, didn't I? What do you want?
Just so good.
Eric K says B+. You just made it 10 times worse with all you've reacted to it, brother. Thanks a lot. B+, he says, for Mark Leonard alone. Yes. And brother, I've said this a lot. I've seen him play aliens more than I've ever seen him play humans. I can only think of one time I saw him play a human, to be honest with you. one time. I know he did a couple of them. He's an alien, and we loved him. Let's see, majestic and commanding. They do not have any other Vulcanians or anyone else with mental discipline on the ship than Picard. Yes, not. That is actually a pretty interesting point there.
Mm-hmm.
Gates loved slapping Wesley a little too much. Well, who wouldn't though? I mean,
And can we just take a moment to absorb the fact that I love Eric K. He's so TOS. It is just fabulous. Look at that, Vulcanians in his response. Eric K., I love you.
I always just say Vulcans, but good, sure. 9 for. I guess is that a rating, David Raven? Come on, cuz. Can't you give us an alphabet rating? What's wrong with you, boy?
Give us a program, David.
What's wrong with you, boy? I thought I raised you better than that, son.
No pastelaia for you, David Rayburn.
Yeah, you damn Rayburn. Snorty part 2. If there is a downside, it's Riker not letting Geordi airlock whining Wesley. But Mommy tries to make up for it by slapping him his pimply face. Shut up, Wesley. You know, that really should make the episode an A+++++, because it's probably the greatest scene in all of Star Trek history.
Chin scratchies for my bear.
Catman says, Clobberin Times, I am happy the way the episode turned extremely entertaining and interesting, and loved all of Picard's lines of this one the most. Another awesome and great episode. I give it an A+. Yeah. Thank you so much, Catman. Appreciate you.
Nice one, Betty.
Maggie Cropper is a B. Thank you so much.
Maggie Cropper.
John says A+++, especially today when I rewatched it. I was a caregiver for my dad who passed last year. So some condolences, John.
Yeah.
So I could identify with the characters' need to protect.
Yeah.
I found the portrayals very genuine and on point. Absolutely,
sending you
John.
a hug, honey. I'm sending you a hug. Just a big old warm hug. And I'm so sorry for your loss. And I just want to thank you for being such a courageous and wonderful son. So I'm sending you a big warm hug.
Absolutely, buddy. Thank you so much, John. Appreciate you. Mr. Tickle Trunk says A-. The episode would have been an A if it didn't take so long to get going. The audience has a good idea what the issue is before the characters do. So this drags for the first third. Okay.
Fair comment, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
It's a fair cop. Let's see here. You get a rare chance to see Patrick Stewart, the man who shares a large chunk of the responsibility for destroying his iconic character in recent years. True enough. Shows us that he's a very capable actor. Yeah, I never questioned that, but yeah, absolutely, Mr.
Well, I do.
We know you're the biggest fan. You're his biggest fan. We know you run his fan club. Some of Sarek's thoughts spoken. Some of Sarek's thoughts spoken through Picard show us the amount of love Sarek has for his only child. What about Sybok? Think he loves Sybok?
No.
And I love Sybok. Come on now. Well, let's be nice to Sybok. He should have said Sybok, but wasn't that far.
Let me join with you.
Yeah, I could not help but notice your pain. Share it with me.
Yeah, sure.
And his human wife. And we don't often see the raw emotion of Vulcans have to keep in check. Yes, thank you. Indeed. And I love that we finally get to see this to better understand Vulcans. Fighting with foam props isn't as clear. If I had an adopted daughter like Mikey, I'd pretend she didn't exist as well. Yes, he didn't mention Mikey Spock. Oh my God. What she said. No, we have the great enigmatic drop bear. All right, ED, take it away. Number one.
Hello, enigmatic drop bear. Another one of my favorite internet nerds. We're getting a 4-parter from him this time, and he's giving this episode an A. Enigmatic drop bear says, watching this episode in the post-2009 context is a stark reminder of the travesty that is modern Star Trek. Wow.
Yes.
What a great comment. Somebody should turn that into a meme. 2 of 4. Whereas this episode treats Trek lore with reverence and respect, modern Trek treats it with contempt and disdain. As such, I found watching this episode in this era a little distressing. 3 of 4. The writers cleverly avoided an indulgence of excessive sentimentality and cliched nostalgia. Instead, Sarek's final act as the emeritus diplomat was gracious and magnanimous. Wow, what a great comment. Oh, I love you. So well wrought. 4 of 4. Picard's conversation with Data about mental decay and ravages of time was touching. Perhaps the metaphor in this is that there may be a price to pay for living a life of suppressed emotions. Enigmatic drop bear, I love you. I love you. What a, just sensational, well wrought, so articulate, and I couldn't agree more. Just absolutely excellent comments, and I know Clobby agrees.
Absolutely, well done, ED, as always. Thank you so much. Hungry Boy says the sensitivity to the subject matter elevated the ep for me, making it almost on the level of British TV before the BBC fell on its head from at least 30 feet up. A+. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you. Absolutely.
Great one, Hungry Boy. Thank you so much.
Outsider says B, because nobody mentions Sarek cradle robbing. Well, yeah. Why does Picard get the honor of the meld? Remember, Sarek also shared a meld with one James T. Kirk. He did. Why wasn't Wesley slapping made it ship-wide? Let's see.
Just every room he walks in just gets a hard slap across the face. Phantom Outsider, I miss you when you're not around. I gotta tell you that. It's hysterical.
Phantom, I can't. I'll find number 2 when I can, because I don't see it. And
Can't see it?
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm seeing 2 of 3 of Michael Beacom, but I don't see his first one. What is going on with this chat?
Well, Michael Beacom,
Michael Beacom, I'm trying to find your number 2. If you can see Phantoms 2 and 3, or 2.
Oh, we got that one from Snorty. Oh, my chat's jumping all over the place.
Yes. Michael Beacom, I'm looking for Michael's number 1. Maybe it jumped in before. No, it's not here. I can't believe this. Oh, this chat's terrible.
I know, it's awful. I actually don't even see.
Oh, I got it. Sorry.
Well, I'm glad you have it, because I don't even see him, believe it or not. I don't see him at all.
Weird. All right, Michael. I got Michael Beacom. Gets an A, but I find it very hard to keep personal distance from this one. I grew up next to an old folks' home. Wow. And worked there in my high school years. I saw many people. Okay, now I do believe I still have your 2. So hang in there, Michael. Oh, there we go. Got your 2 there. All right. I saw many people in the grip of dementia. I am not afraid of any disease, but am of losing my very self through degrading brain matter. I did not want to see Sarek like this and hated it at. That's been kind of a problem with me. Is for this one too. But again, even though I understand what they were doing there, Michael, I'm going to try to find your number 3. Hang on. Oh, there we go. 3 at first. But then I realized that the families visiting their loved ones did not want to see their beloved elders this way either. It eventually brought me around to this Trek at its best again. Thank you so much, Michael. Absolutely. I concur.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's so beautiful, Michael Beacom, and it is not political or partisan. There's nothing strange about it. It's just heartfelt. There are so many things for us to discuss as human beings, about our fellow human beings, and about this wondrous futurism and this technology that lies before us. And here we see the producers and writers, and we see the Star Trek taking advantage of the fact that they can actually reach into people's lives and say something meaningful instead of doling out dogma and creating these hyper didactic, over moralizing episodes that have no feeling and no sense. So yeah, I love your comments, Michael Beacom. It growing older is terrifying, and certainly dementia is one of the most terrifying ways to age. And I hear you and I feel you.
Indeed, Michael. Indeed. Thank you so much. Scuba Pete says B+. Sarek, aka Earth Girls, are easy. This episode had it all. Bar fights, hot tub, a Wesley slap heard over the warp core.
Bar fights, hot tubs, Wesley slaps.
I love that.
Love you, Scuba.
Sandra says A. Family often can't admit the deterioration. He had people who loved him enough to protect him, but did him a disservice by denying his problem to the point it almost cost the mission and his pride. Very, very well said.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah,
always,
Sandra. Yeah,
as always, Sandra. Absolutely,
Yep.
that's so true. A+ from the great Kal-El. Let's see here. An amazing episode. It showed a very real depiction of the deterioration of one's mind. Picard's sacrifice, although temporary, was incredibly noble and increased my respect for the character. Absolutely. There you go.
Love it, Kal-El.
There's the. In his own mind, Sarek is trapped. I guess it's good because Wesley gets slapped. The emotions
do fall.
And they have a good brawl. I want to see more of Wesley being slapped. Yeah! The greatest scene in all of Star Trek history. You are a poet and you know it, Mr. Max Redstone. Number 2 for Phantom Outsider.
Oh, here we go.
Standard operating procedure. At the beginning and end of every shift, everyone slaps Wesley. Anything else is unacceptable. Lol. What is above 10 forward? I'm sure the six want a thicker floor with here we go.
So funny.
Architectural says if Dr. Crusher had regularly slapped her son, she'd have been an infinitely more interesting character than written. Yes. It would be great to have a child abuser on the Enterprise.
You guys are terrible, and I love it. It's so funny.
I see. What? The terrible tenant below.
Yes, exactly, right? And it's funny because your comment with my comment is hysterical because I called it like a knockdown drag-out brawl in the saloon. Could you imagine if there were gunfire and they were shooting through the roof? Love it so much.
Indeed. The terrible tenant below. Guinan. Guinia? Guinan?
You meant Guinan.
I meant Guinan. No shooting into the person above's living quarters. Why is she not why is she not in the brig? Stabbing Q, discharging firearms willy-nilly. Q was right. She is dangerously unhinged. Yes, she is. Wolfie says, rating A. Up to this point, I really feel like they stay the heck away from anything Vulcan. That's true. They've done a lot of Vulcan stuff. While it is great, they're doing other things and have new species. Vulcan is like the number 2 planet of the Federation. Yeah. Mark Leonard is fantastic as always.
Yep.
Yeah, I always wanted more Vulcan stuff, and they did really. You don't get a regular Vulcan until Tuvok, and that. I guess, right? As far as a regular,
and I think I think it's because like it was very obvious that the writers' room was not listening because like Jill was pointing out earlier, Jill has read the Bible as I have read the Bible, and it was very in this way because he wanted to have entirely new characters and go on new adventures. He always wanted us reaching out for something new. He did not simply want a sequel, and so because he was worried about that, he just didn't want them stealing all their ideas from TOS. But it appears as though they went overboard and totally took it the wrong way and just made it seem as though it was taboo to ever even discuss TOS, which was not the case. And those who have read the Bible know that.
Her slap made me think of that Saturday morning PSA. I'm so mad I could slap your face. Oh, God.
JT Kirk, Tupac is my favorite Vulcan.
No,
I
God.
almost said Vulcanian. I can't stop myself.
Tuvok Shakur.
Yeah.
Limerick says, Max Limerick Redstone says, Sarek knew McCoy and Kirk. So Wesley's gets slapped like a joke. Some emotions were crunched. The Decker unit got punched. Then a mind meld got them all back to work. Damn, dude.
That's your best one, honey. That's
Love
your
it,
best
man.
one.
Love it.
Honey, I want to send you a super chat. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're the man. I'm sending Max Reds on a super chat. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mark D with us. He says A-. Excited to see Sarek, but it is tragic to see him dealing with the most horrible of diseases. That in many ways is tougher on family.
Yeah.
Right. Mark D with a C part 2 says watching the inning, you think this is the last time you will see Sarek, but fortunately the door has but fortunately the door has now been opened to learn more of Spock's story. Sarek, we should always retain the best part of the other inside of us, Picard. I believe I have the best part. I believe I have the best part of that bargain, Ambassador. Peace and long life.
Well, P-Hard, you definitely did get the best part of that bargain.
You did, P-Hard. That's for sure. I guess. Look, I think.
Mr. Tickle Trunks sent you a super chat. He says something. Yeah, he's raising his hand like Mr. You are Mr. Carter, and he's Horseshack. He's going, oh. Yeah, he spent a $5 on this. Oh. So, Mr. Carter,
be right there.
Go to Horseshack.
I will be right there. First, architecture. I could just tell you this: don't even pursue it further. It's not real Trek, and you just do yourself a disservice. So I'm happy for you. I sat through all of P-Hard, and it was a horrible experience.
No.
Yep. Thank you so much, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the $5 Canadian super chat. I think it's Canadian. Is that right? CA, is that what that means?
Yep.
Okay. Apologies. I'd forgotten Wesley was slapped. I changed my rating to A- to an A++. Oh, from an A- to A++. That was so important. I spent a $5. And look, hey, you never have to spend it, but it's always appreciated, my friend. And yes, you have special dispensation, Mr. Tickle Trunk, to change your review.
Yes.
From an A- to an A++. That slap was worth some more pluses, and I've changed mine. I'm going to add a plus to mine for the slap. Thank you. We changed ours together, buddy.
Did you hear that, communications officer Jill? Please amend the record, formally amend the record for Horseshack, Mr. Tickle Trunk, and for the captain as well.
Yes.
Let the record show both gentlemen have added a plus.
Oh, we appreciate you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Thank you. Oh, righty then. Where are we? All right. Well, we're ready for our final episode of the evening, folks. And that is.
Excuse me,
Yes,
Wolfie.
yes.
Wolfie, would you please do me a favor, Ensign Wolfie? Would you please take the tarp off of the Clawbony? I am officially asking that you remove the tarp from the Clawbony. And Ensign Phantom Outsider, would you please assist Wolfie in taking the tarp off of the Clawbony?
Well, there you go.
Here
So
we go.
I couldn't make it look right with that. My thing couldn't do that because I can't make those we were talking about. But anyway, number one, proceed for the final episode of the evening, Menage a Troy.
Menage a Trois is now Menage a Troy. This is season 3, episode 24. We all watched this the very first time on May 28th, 1990. And if you're just joining us, and also to keep copyright compliant, I will be reading excerpts about this episode from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block and Terry J. Erdman. It gets the blessing of Ronald D. Moore and everyone involved in making TNG. Please turn your hymnal to 159. Kidding. Please turn the text to 159 if you have the text. I'm going to read it extemporaneously, so put down your fruit. Riker, Deanna, and Lwaxana Troi are kidnapped by a Ferengi bent on making Lwaxana his mate and exploiting her telepathic skills for profit. Riker attempts to signal the Enterprise for assistance, but Wesley Crusher, the one person aboard who might be able to understand the strange transmission. Can you please put on the ticker? This just in. This just in. Wesley sucks. Anyway, is about to leave the ship to take his Starfleet Academy oral exams, meaning the trio must be out of luck. Gene Roddenberry's assistant, Susan Sackett, and her writing partner, Fred Bronson, submitted Menage a Troi as a vehicle for Majel Barrett's yearly appearance on TNG as Lwaxana Troi. Conceived as a riff on O. Henry's short story, The Ransom of Red Chief, with over-the-top Lwaxana taking the place of the obnoxious kidnapped child, the episode evolved into a more textured piece with input from members of the show's regular writing staff and from Roddenberry himself. Gene wasn't doing much writing by that point, recalls Ron Moore. And I think this was the last episode he actually did a pass on. The episode primarily serves as a broad comedy with its emphasis on crude Ferengi shtick and Picard's memorable mashups of several Shakespearean sonnets as he attempts to convince Damon Togg of his ardor for Miss Troi. There is a serious moment, however, when Picard, recognizing that Wesley has sacrificed a personal opportunity in order to rescue Riker, Deanna, and Lwaxana, offers the boy a promotion to ensign. That story beat resonated with Gene Roddenberry, who created the character of Wesley, self-insert, and was genuinely fond of actor Will Wheaton. Roddenberry commemorated Wesley's promotion by coming to the set and shutting down the production long enough to present Will Wheaton with a gift: the actual bars he'd received when he himself was field promoted in the Army Air Corps. Wheaton never forgot Roddenberry's generosity, and years later, he found a way to repay it. In 2007, during a ceremony in which Gene Roddenberry was posthumously inducted into the Science Fiction Hall of Fame, Wheaton presented the bars of the great bird's son, Eugene Roddenberry Jr. In a moving speech, Wheaton said, "To commemorate this occasion, I would like to present Eugene Roddenberry with his father's ensign's bars because he had done more to earn these bars than I could ever have. More than anyone else today, he continues to honor the legacy his father created, and I know that Gene would want him to have them." And then, of course, it says below writers Sackett and Bronson with Togg and Mr. Holm, and opposite two of Roddenberry's favorite characters, Wesley Crusher in full ensign garb and a Ferengi. And that is all the block text has to say about Menage a Trois. What did you think of the coverage? And what did you think of the episode, Captain?
Well, the coverage is interesting, of course. That's something, right? The coverage is interesting. I've got to say, the coverage is interesting. Good coverage. Well covered. The only thing I hate about the coverage is that it makes me have to at least think at least slightly positively of Will Wheatface, because that was a nice thing for him to do.
Yeah.
Hey there, Snail Messiah. Good to see you.
Hey, Snail Messiah.
Welcome, my friend. All right.
Mark, you stay away from Snail Messiah. You gave him nightmares last time with all your talk about escargots.
Oh, did he? Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
don't do that.
Sneaking little escargots from the escargot tray.
Rev up that pleboni. The episode. Look, there are episodes I think are worse. I just don't really like this one very much. There's a lot of crap in it that aggravates me. Maybe that's just me. If you like this episode, everyone, that's cool. I the Wesley crap really kind of derails it a lot. I love Loxana, the Loxana Troy. I love Majo Barrett, of course. What's this here? Records have been updated, and Mr. Tickle Trunk is upgraded from an A- to an A++. And Captain Club is agree. Okay, thank you so much, Jill. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
The episode in itself was fairly, innocuous. I mean, it's kind of silly. I don't. Again, I it's kind of just. I don't mind a little dopey fun. I mean, it's all in good fun. Ferengis are just annoying to me in general. Yeah. But you have to. It really is. Without the Wesley stuff, it just would have been a little more tolerable for me. But this crap about not only is he involved, he's saving all this kind of shit again as usual, and then they stick it in our face by making him part of the crew for real and making him stay on for another year or whatever.
Barf. And just remember, it was in the first season that DC Fontana was saying during interviews and during conventions when she was on a panel that they had to address the Wesley problem, the Wesley issue. And here we are, season 3, episode 24, and now he's an ensign.
The episode itself was just sort of, I mean, there's some, mildly humorous stuff. She's always funny, she's always good, and
she's gorgeous and amazing, and has a better body than Marina. Have you seen her body? Her body's amazing. Yeah. Smoking hot woman.
Nevertheless, I just don't really think it's a very compelling episode. It has funny moments, but I don't really care that much. It's kind of forgettable, a bit of a snoozer, and made to borderline intolerable because of the Wesley crap for me. Yeah. Just for me. So go ahead with notes you may have.
Okay, here are my notes, folks. So many of you know that I take these weird notes because we're not doing a formal review. And as I'm rewatching, I rewatch Star Trek to the tune of over 667 hours every single year in chronological order. So my contribution to this show is that I take notes when I rewatch the episodes annually. And so here's what I wrote down. Ethan Phillips is the Ferengi. Yeah. Susan Sackett wrote this for Majel or Magel or Moggle, as they say in the Middle East. I think it's Moggle or Mogel. She was Jean's assistant, and she was also Jean's mistress for many years. So I don't particularly like Susan Sackett writing this episode for Magel. Barrett, Magel Roddenberry. I think it's a little weird. Anyway, yeah, I don't really like it. She's sleeping with the guy's husband. And even if you have an open marriage and an open relationship and so on and so forth, I think that's getting a little too close for comfort for me. So I think it's bad form. I don't think it looks good in the eyes of fans, and I think it's slightly disrespectful. I love Magel Barrett. I love Magel Roddenberry. I think that she is an absolute goddess. And yeah, I don't know. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. But that's my personal... I'm an agnostic. I'm not stuffy. I'm not a prude, but that's just my feeling. It's my personal feeling. No one has to share it. Deanna is weird. What daughter would be angry with her mom for being insulted that a man propositioned her as a prostitute? He says to her, every woman has her price. And Deanna seems disgusted that the mother reacted at all, which is weird. What daughter would actually do that? That's not believable or realistic. And then, of course, Phantom Outsider. The reason why I asked you to fire up the engine on the Clawbony and I asked Wolfie to remove the tarp is the Decker unit is back in full Imzadi mode. What's with the, what do you call it? A snortopupus? Snoo? What's with the snoo with him and and Deanna again? They're just like tongue kissing. Anyway, where'd that come from? Also another weird moment. Deanna acts like a teenage girl. She's huffing and puffing and angry with her mom.
So annoying with that stuff.
She's incredibly annoying in this episode, and she acts very childish. She acts like a 12-year-old girl who hates her mother. Why do they wait?
Yeah.
Pardon?
I get tired of that crap with her.
Yeah, me too. It's just like, shouldn't she be more, especially her, shouldn't she be more emotionally mature? And then I put, why did they wake up in the brig? When did that happen? When were they drugged? When were the little tiny Ferengi people drugging them? Anyway, and then I put I put in yelling all caps with 2 lines underneath it and a big exclamation point. Super Wesley to the rescue! And then I put,
of course, boy, he was in really annoying mode there. Whew,
yeah.
extra.
And then I put, Deanna is the weirdest daughter. And then I put, this is the stupidest ending.
It is to Shinotsky. Hello there. Good to see you. Yeah, and also I like that there was a ship called the Bradbury. I wish Wesley had been on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Bye.
Yeah. So this episode, like I say, don't look. We've been through some rough times here, folks. There are a lot of crappy ones. Crappier even, I will say. But I agree with everything my first officer said here. I just find this episode to be not particularly compelling, but if you got rid of the Wesley crap, it might be, they might have been able to make kind of a fun, silly episode out of it. Although I'm not the biggest Ferengi fan until Quark. It took Quark to at least make me like, and then Rom later.
Yep.
And even Nog to an extent to make me actually think that Ferengis could be good characters, to be honest with you.
True.
I didn't think they could be.
Yep.
I was pretty much, until I saw those characters, and they needed a lot, and you got to see them, no matter how good the actor was. Until I saw those characters, I didn't think a Ferengi could be an interesting or a compelling character, really. Mm-hmm. And not in this case either. They're just dopey and silly in this, too. Yeah. And I love Loxana. Seeing her is always fun. I'm so with you. I really get tired of her, Deanna's constant, idiotic, just the way she treats her mother. The way, and look, and by the way, I talked about, all kids get aggravated with their parents and all that kind of stuff, and vice versa. It's fine, but after a while, she's such a stick in the mud, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Just where I come from, no daughter or son would ever be upset with a mother. I will step outside of of it and just say, I don't know anyone who has a mom. And if a stranger walked up to her and said, I want to buy you, every woman has her price, name it. I do not know a single person who would say, Mom, why are you being mean to that guy? And that's basically what Deanna does for most of the episode until she's kidnapped. And then obviously is back with the Decker unit doing the Zadi snoo for absolutely no reason.
Yep, I thought they were just friends, remember?
Yeah, and apparently they're more than friends. Netflix and chill, folks. I don't know. It's just a bizarre episode. Like I said, I also don't like that Susan Sackett wrote this and that Gene had to tweak it, given the fact that, like I said, even if they had an open relationship, it's none of my business. I'm not casting any judgment. I'm an agnostic. I have no stick in this fire. I don't care. But it makes me feel uncomfortable as a fan. So, yeah. I'm not a fan of this episode, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the goddess and expert thespian abilities of Magel or Magel or Magel, whatever country you hail from, Barrett or Roddenberry. I think she is a goddess of a woman and an excellent actress. She has absolutely wonderful comedic talents. She's a natural. She's also a natural at being serious, as we learn later when she has her scene with Odo on DS9. She is magnetic, gorgeous, charming, hysterical, sexy. She puts younger women to shame with that body and just everything about her. What a goddess. And she has nothing to do with the rating that I'm giving this. But this episode is truly Clawbony worthy. We're going to have to hose the Clawbony off after this episode.
So your rating?
D.
Same. D. This is a D because it is for dumb and a lot of the chat. Someone gave a review. Sandra gave the review. All right. So now I will ask everyone to please give your rating. And any thoughts you may have on the episode, please now my wonderful chat on Manasha. Right. Sandra says, B, enough Spurpies to go through 3 species. The Ferengi buying into Picard's overacting was dumb. It was dumb. Seems like they were just throwing out ideas to see what stuck. I'm with you there. I'm with you there, Sandra. It was pretty pointless. I'm with you there. Let's see. Architectural, yes, she did. I like this when she's with the ones with Odo on DS9 with her. Those were really good. With Luxana, she's gotta love Magil, as I say now. Scuba Pete says, "C. Best part was learning that Ferengi keep their ships colder and a bit nipply." Okay, you toxic person, you toxic male. Raymond says D-. Wow, put the Clabonia in afterburner. You raspberry for the promotion for Wesley. There you go. Cue the slap line for Wesley a la airplane to celebrate. Yes, that would have been fun. Picard overacting yet again. Snore. Decker unit sigh. Well said, Raymond. Raymond wins the internet on that.
Love it.
Oh my God, you ain't kidding, buddy. John says B. I enjoy these Loaxana episodes. Guilty pleasure, I suppose. It made me smile today, just anticipating R.M. Briggs noting and the appearance of the Claboni.
Love you, John. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you.
You are a great friend to this channel and a great friend of this show. I just love you. Thank you, John.
Really said, John, thank you. Hungry Boy says, I never thought Paramount would ever choose to make a grown sandwich using Cinemax After Dark cheese on Blackadder's first season ham. I love Blackadder. On stale rye bread. Rating a Brawl Cup D.
No, minus. Double D minus.
Double D minus. It's a DD double D minus. Oh my goodness. Well, Jesus Christ. Mr. Tickle Trunk says C+. The Ferengi, much like my teen self watching this episode for the first time, show that they don't know how to control their hormones or speak to females.
Human females.
Human, you clothe your females? Let's see here. I appreciated the humor and the lighthearted nature. I even find the failed attempts at humor charming at times. The poetry at the end was too over the top, though. Yeah. I liked the concept. Let's see.
I get you.
What can we say about the Loxana Troy? Magil Barrett. It tells me. So you're saying Magil that I'm trying to say it your way though.
Magil Barrett. You know what? You can say it. You can say it like 5 different ways. It is from multiple countries. So in the Middle East, I researched in the Middle East that it's Mogul or Majul. So don't worry about it, honey. Just whatever way you feel it.
I like because they were saying Magil in the bloopers. Trek bloopers.
Yeah,
so Magil
exactly.
Barrett, and of course she's a good close personal friend of mine because I talked to her on the phone once. Magil Barrett always steals the show. She's the source of fun throughout, as well as the target of my teenage hormones. I mean, what were we talking about? She was quite the lady. Let's see here. 3, 4. I suppose the most important thing we got from this is seeing clearly why Deanna Troi had never had a wedding at this point, and her mother has had several. Hubba. Yeah.
Love it, Mr. Tickle Trunk.
Hearing you there, buddy.
Hey, Alagabulus said that he stopped by to hit the like button, but that's all he can do.
That's okay, Alagabulus. Thank you. It's good to see you. Well, I don't see you because I can't see anything right now. But good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. All right, let's see here. Where bees we? Okay. Nope. Already got that one. Nope. Already got that one. Hang on. I had to backtrack because I had a
That's
one
okay,
way down
sweetheart.
there. Okay. Enigmatic drop bear. Take it away, number one, if you will.
Ooh, hello, enigmatic drop bear. Okay, he's given a three-parter on this one, and he's giving this episode a C. He says Lawaksana Troy episodes aren't popular with everyone, but for me, she's a guilty pleasure. The way her Kruger stereotype is used to disrupt a crew that are often portrayed as pompous and austere. I love enigmatic
I
drop bear.
can't blame you. She is a lot of fun.
She is.
She
2 of 3.
elevates an episode too. Yeah. So
Yeah, I love her, and I also love the fact that a lot of mature men and even young men are incredibly sexually attracted to her. She's a very magnetic person. Anyway,
yes.
2 of 3. That's not to say that this episode isn't problematic. It is. It has a fairly unpleasant rape subtext, and the way Deanna's unimportance is juxtaposed with Riker's is pretty awful. Yeah, enigmatic drop bear. I felt the same way. Like what was happening to her mom in the other room, and she just basically felt like, well, it's keeping us alive. Like Deanna's terrible, like just absolutely terrible. 3 of 3. Enigmatic Dropper says, likewise, Deanna's telepathic connection with Lawaksana as she makes out with a Ferengi is, to say the least, awkward and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
ABD again. The Ferengi are a caricature. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Not until Quark do they actually, at least, Quark, Rama, and Nog, as mentioned, do they become actual sentient beings that you could at least, respect as characters. I mean, they're just,
Yeah.
at least that's the way I always.
It's true, but I do agree with enigmatic drop bear. It actually gives me, like, it makes me sort of a little sick in my stomach when I think about that, because if that were happening to my mom, I would be climbing the walls. You know what I mean? Like I would not allow someone to do that to my mom. And it's just, the Susan Sackett should just this whole thing is sullied by a very strange thing, including the title of the show. It's just very odd. This should not have happened. Just burn it, forget about it. Yuck
Indeed. JT Kirk says 7 revs from the Claboni out of 10. The dull plot wasted superb acting talent. Counselor Cameltoe was bizarre and childish. Not enough bad things happened to Wesley to make it worth the annual rewatch. You can never have enough bad things happen to Wesley. That's right. Yeah. Snorty says D. Another attempt at a comedic episode that doesn't quite work. Doesn't quite work. Even if it does have its amusing moments, mostly due to Majel Barrett's performance as the irrepressible Loaxana Troy. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Hang on a second, Snorty. Where you at, Snorty boy? Takes over. Snarty boy. We got a bunch of them here. Damon Togg comes off as just too stupid to live. Yes, at least we were spared having to see the Troys naked. Although the green space blanket wrap was almost as bad. I'm not sure I wanted to be spared that part, but okay.
I like that she calls him Demon Tog, though, and starts laughing.
Yeah,
it reminds
she was
me
funny.
Yes, of course, especially when she calls Worf Mr. Woof.
She's great.
She's marvelous.
Great. Yeah. My hopes are raised that Wesley might finally leave the ship. That's the thing back then, probably. I can't remember, but I thought back then.
Yeah.
But even back then, we're probably, sure, we're going to lose Wesley.
Well, I was hoping he'd leave the show.
Oh, yeah. But the Ferengi have messed that up with their plot. For that, the returning counselor, obvious. They have earned that, and returning counselor, obvious. They've earned my eternal ire. Ferengis are a bunch of jerk-offs. Snorty. Oh, that was 3. Where's 4? Oh, there's 4. Okay. For reasons that make no sense in a logical universe, Picard promotes Wesley to full ensign, despite the fact that in most military organizations, a commission must be given by the head of state.
And they only deviate from that when it's wartime, right? I don't know. I'd have to ask Raymond and Sandra because I don't know.
Yes, probably.
Mm-hmm.
referring to have earned my eternal ire for kidnapping Counselor Obvious and then having the unmitigated gall to return her. Those bloody little toads. Little bastards. Vicious, pointless, worthless little bastards, oh man. Let's see here. Kal-El says...
Sending some scritchies.
Scritchy. D- for Kal-El, he says. I'd say Deanna's behavior was out of character, but I guess it depended on who was writing her that way. Good point. Picard having to fight for Lwaxana was mildly amusing, which is why it didn't get an F. And at least seeing him get embarrassed is fun.
She's just beautiful, and it's hard to hate an episode she's in because she's sexy. She objectifies men. She's sometimes she's downright horny. I'm going to use the word. She's very amorous, and she's just irreverent and delicious and wonderful to be around. I want a friend just like her. I think she's hysterical, but it doesn't. Susan Sackett, no.
Damn you, Susan Sackett. Max Redstone says C-. I give this episode 1/2 bowl of Uda berries.
I want some Uda berries, Max.
Let's start with the B story. Wesley is leaving. No, he's not. There's no celebration large enough.
So picture Max Redstone, Raquel, and Mr. Holm just eating Uda berries by the pond.
Indeed. Screw the chimes. Bring back Q's mariachis. It's Wesley's get the flarg out day. It's fun to see Lwaxana go full Karen on Demontagne. Not so much when Deanna goes Karen on Mom.
Yeah.
What are you, 17?
Yeah.
This crap is so annoying. By the way, B from Mega Cropper. Thank you, B. We're getting to the other ones.
Thank you, Mega Cropper.
We got a bunch of them here from Max and Fana. Okay. The A story isn't much better.
No.
Cog's kidnapping isn't very fun or engaging. Nope. Even when he uses the nudity-causing misogyny transporter tech he stole from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes. The infinite improbability drive. Good reference, buddy. Let's see here. Max. There we go, Max. Fun trivia. In Star Trek, the TNG magazine, Majel Barrett noted in that scene she wore a body stocking, but Marina Sirtis was shameless during said scene and might have even sold tickets.
What?
I love her.
Get out of here. Which page and which month?
I think she got to be kidding, but yeah.
That's hysterical. Well, because Marina Sirtis has always said like she was like a skin flick actress.
Yeah,
those are her words too, right? She always says that skin flick.
Mm-hmm. Saw her naked in a horror movie once, way back before Trek. Back to the Wesley B story. Let me get this straight. You have Data and the main computer, but it takes Wesley freaking Crusher to find an organized pattern of signal distortion.
Oh, it's so cringe. Like, there's so much groan and cringe, Max. It's like, it's tough to watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, insert barf icon.
I don't know who shows up as more useless here. I don't know who shows up as more useless here, Wesley or 24th century computing.
Right.
And Wesley gets his stripes from missing the bus to school. Put pontoons on the poop van Boney.
Yeah, there's a river of it now. We're going to have to get bigger tires for the Clawbony.
Indeed. Because the poo-poo crusher is a floating up. Okay. I'll say the high point of this episode is Patrick Stewart's fully organic recitation of Shakespeare and Alfred Lord Tennyson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And the episode's only payoff is Lwaxana's setup at the end, but not worth the ticket. Not worth the ticket price.
Agreed.
Or the second and third in the menage a trois. I vote for the Decker unit and Mr. Hom.
Lovely.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Max. Well done, buddy. The Catman at Katie Miner says, Clobby, sorry, I need to turn. I mean, I think you mean to run, but
I
this
think he
was my
means I need
least
to turn in.
turn in, probably,
Yeah.
yes. This was my least favorite episode, but I give this one a D minus. Good night, everyone, and have a
Okay.
great Sunday and a better week. Well, thank you so much.
Good
We
night,
really
honey.
appreciate you, Catman. Take care.
Send
best-
send your best to send our best to your beautiful wife.
Right. Best
We're
to you and
thinking of you.
yours. Absolutely. Best to you and yours, my friend. Let's see. We got JT Kurt. Did we get Kal-El? Oh, no, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Kal-El. His was excellent. Yeah.
All right. Hang on. I'm trying to backtrack now, folks. Now we got Phantom. Okay. We have let's see, by the way, we have confirmed proof of Wesley sucking. We are Ferengi transporters so much. Why are Ferengi transporters so much better than Federation ones?
Yeah.
Wesley promotion to having red shirt and return to Wesley promotion to STOS sensibilities. It's Wesley season 1 through.
No, it's Wesley season. And then he has 7 more.
Yeah, no, I got that, but I couldn't really figure out that other sentence. I'm sorry. I'm just daft, I guess.
Well, Wesley's promotion to having a red shirt is a return to TOS's sensibilities. So what Phantom Outsider is saying is now there's a possibility that because the kid's wearing a red shirt, we could just kill him off the way we kill off other red shirts.
I gotcha. It's just a sentence. I'll get to your next one when I can find it. It's way down there, buddy. So hang tough. Michael Beacom says D. Watching the other 3 episodes, then this one is like watching air disasters where everything is flying fine. Then suddenly it's all alarms and the plane plummets from the sky. Blam. They still have no idea how to handle Ferengi, and while I sense a story nugget in there somewhere, it never shows up.
Oh, it's a nugget, all right.
Yeah, the nugget, yeah. Yet again, wasted opportunities and an ex-mistress sucking up to her guy.
And obviously a little too much because Jean, according to Paula, Jean had to come in and do a little fix on it. But could you imagine a mistress writing a script for a wife? It's very odd. It does not feel good. And I'm glad it sucks. Susan sucks. Sack it.
Whoa. D from the Great Edit K episode was just a meh. Not much to say about it. I can't blame you. I don't blame you, brother. Now we've got the wonderful Jill.
Jill.
So are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now we'll get to the rest of you, Phantom. As soon as I can find you, buddy. I promise. Go for it, number one.
Well, hello, beautiful. Our communications officer, anti-derivative Jill, is going to file a 4-page report. She's giving this a C-. She says, why is Picard always being so rude and cutting off Data as soon as he becomes very interesting? I wanted to hear more about Ferengi brains and why Betazoids can't read them. 2 of 4. The Ferengi are still in growing pains and are complete morons and ethically perverse. Lwaxana gets a bit of her own medicine in this episode. But to be fair, she has never tried to kidnap Picard. 3 of 6. Lwaxana shows courage to save her daughter and the man she wants as a son-in-law. But Wes misses the boat for the academy and gets an undeserved promotion. So that game is lost. 4 of 6. Jill says, Riker plays the reception music. Wow, that was a random stretch that anyone could capture that. Why didn't he just send SOS, Morse code? 5 of 6. Yeah, they wouldn't know Morse code. They're Ferengi. Why not just Morse code? Like, why? What are you sending? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to send a Beatles song. Oh, Wesley knows the Beatles song. Anyway, let's keep going. 5 of 6, Jill says, there was enough background noise that the Ferengi wouldn't have caught it. good thing Wes was still on board, because there's no way a mere mortal would catch that. And then she puts in a rolling eyes icon. Yeah, it's so cringy, isn't it? 6 of 6. Jill says, Stewart is such a brilliant actor that he knows how to be a terrible actor. And that is Picard. And given that, he did splendidly. And it always cracks me up, just barely saving it from being a D. Excellent. Thank you, Communications Officer Jill. I love your nerdy self. That was terrific.
Lovely as always, Jill. Architectural foam panels and columns says, I barely remember this episode, so let's see. Yeah, I can't hear you, because if you remembered it, it may not fare much better, or maybe worse. Phantom Outsider Part 2. Decker unit and trio back together again. Bye, Wesley. Oh, God, he's back. Will we never be rid of this plague of Wesley? Poop Zamboni, run over Wesley and his promotion.
Yep.
Go clean the warp manifold, you little... Oh, he didn't say that part. There we go. That's for you, Phantom Outsider. Let's see here. Find your next one. Yes, you did, Raymond. Hang on a second. Oh, I want to slip on.
Yes, Raymond. That was such a good review. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Anti-derivative Jill says, architectural foam panels and columns. You are lucky to not remember this episode.
I think that's...
There it is.
I think that's number 3. The last one was 2, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Remind me to get back to Wolfie, if you remember.
Okay.
And a few other people, because there's Phantom 2. Okay. Because it's way down here. Missed the first 2 Afro Hollow pursuits.
Oh, nothing. Go ahead, honey.
No, I was saying the first 2 Afro Hollow pursuits. Finally, proper Hollow. Oh, okay. You missed the first 2 episodes. You missed Hollow pursuits. Finally, proper holodeck usage. Wesley being a jerk and can't save the ship. There was I think he's talking about Hollow pursuits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There was the Wesley tossing in the holodeck. Troy telling Trell what we think of her. Oh yeah, that was funny when she told her other self, muzzle it.
Yes.
From Hollow Pursuits. For most toys, good story for Data. Data goes off program yet. Perhaps the disruptor malfunctioned. Sure. Sure it did. Starfleet security strikes again. A thief is reputable vendor for 7. All right. We need a bonus footage of people slapping Wesley a la Airplane. Now that Wesley is a red shirt, let's go back to Star Trek TOS sensibilities and kill him every week so the French captain recites Shakespeare. I am so sad he's dead again.
I love that he put French in quotations. I love you, Phantom Outsider.
Yes. Apparently, there is no French author of note who wrote of romance.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps Con had all the French literature destroyed. Why isn't there an inquest as to how a teenager saves the flagship so often? That's a good point.
Yeah. It's like Vicky Stubing is running the Love Boat. It's odd.
And why does the French captain have a dumb British accent?
Yeah.
So you promote a teen to ensign. Why? He needs to be court-martialed, Picard, for that. Yeah. Service to the crew, saved the ship and members of the crew many times. So you're saying you and the regular Starfleet trained crew are incompetent morons, Q Zamboni.
Yep.
Very good point, sir.
It's so true. It's so true. It's just so true. I love all of it, Phantom Outsider. There are so many levels of betrayal in the script that, just fans become incredulous and they just dump on the episode. It's terrible.
Yep.
Were you able to find Wolfie? Because I have him here. Okay, good.
Yes. Shinatsky says, no grade exists for this much cringe.
I agree.
You, yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Thank you. Rating C.
Here's my
There, there is the episode, and then there is the ending. The
Yeah.
episode is okay, good stuff with Locks, Troy, Picard at the end is hilarious. The Ferengi introduce us to ear sex.
Umox!
Umox, that's right, they did. Are the Ferengi a military? No, not that really. I
No.
don't think they are. I mean, I guess they have one. You got to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bunch of scavengers, both, I
Yep.
guess. Suxley misses the magic school bus. Bradbury to school. Which, of course, sprays us with Ferengi poop-filled puddle water as it passes by. Yeah.
That's a great visual. Ow, ow, ow!
Jesus.
So good.
Oh, my God. Let me see here. All right, now we're getting there, folks.
J.T. Kirk. Just imagine the level of libido Troy's father had to have to marry Lawaksana. J.T. Kirk, I love
Oh, man.
you.
Right.
Snorty says Imzadi is Beta Z for I'm ready for snoo snoo now.
Uh-oh. We have a limerick. The great
Good.
limerick. Okay. It was noted in the captain's log. There was a kidnapping by Damon Togg. The Ferengi were lewd and got Laxana nude. Now Wesley is a cranberry frog. Winning the day again is Max Redstone.
Just Max is so good.
Leslie's crusher.
Yes, actually he was. Oh, you remember when I
Yes,
talked about that? Yeah, he
Right.
was supposed to be Leslie. Leslie Crusher. Oh,
Yes, Raymond says field promotions happen only in wartime.
Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you. Ferengis make the real Skrulls look like the Shi'ar by comparison. Good comics inside stuff right there.
Hungry Boy, he's
Big
brilliant.
time. Well done, Hungry Boy. I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see. They also make them look like the Kuns if you're a Legion fan. But there you go. All right. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Ham picks those berries fast. Now I know we're
What
missing
if the
one.
traveler from where no one has gone before said to pee hard, whatever you do, get rid of the annoying teenager. He'll be the death of you. Could you imagine if the traveler would have said that?
And they said, you got to take him away from us, traveler.
Take him with you. We don't want him.
Let's see. He said, Max says, I believe the Mental Barrett interview may have been in April 1991. That issue included coverage of Vanessa Troy and also focused on the women of Star Trek. Thank you, Max.
Wicked.
Appreciate that, dude.
Love it, Max.
Thank you,
Max, you are a superstar this
Max
evening.
rocks.
Yeah, I've missed you. Where have you been? You have to hang out with us more. I just love your company, Max.
Max is a superhero and he's got responsibilities. That's one.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's just the coolest person. Whenever you have time, be here because we just love you.
Now, I guess Mark D with a C didn't have a review. Maybe Mark D, if you got one, you can send me one. But I haven't seen his, so he may not have internet now or something. I don't know.
Oh boy!
No. Oh well,
we camping in the cold.
That's cool because I think we're at the end of our reviews, folks.
We are.
Looks like it. We've got the job done tonight, and I did. I don't know what happened to the great Twalky with a C, but he's probably out of communications range for the moment. But that's all right. We'll get his next week or whatever. And if you hear us out there, brother, we hope you're having fun. Bundle up. He's doing this. He's got his responsibilities. He's out there doing his
stay away
thing.
From the Bears. Unless the bear's name is Snorta Poopas Cuber. Do not go near the bear.
Yep. Mark D with the C is scanning for Riker's distortion signals. Hey, Mr. Tickle Trunk, we appreciate that. So
do we, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Well, at least I know I do, and I know Clobby does as well. But I look forward to this all week long. I absolutely love this community. Some of you are just most of you are just you guys are characters unto yourselves. Like it's hysterical. It's like, I don't know. You guys are so funny and so great to be around. And oh yeah, I have a blast.
Appreciate you. Absolutely. We love seeing you all here every week. We have such a great time with you. You're the best. We're going to do a couple of show notes, and then we're going to say our goodbyes, and we're going to get out of here. And don't forget to set your clocks back tonight, everyone. But go ahead. What?
And I was remiss. It isn't just Snorty. It's also Enigmatic Drop Bear. And don't we have another bear as well?
Yes, we have no. Oh, yeah, around an Axamanda bear.
Yeah, we have 3 bears.
The 3 little bears. The 3 little bears. What do you think?
3 little bears.
Next week, folks, thanks to our wonderful our communications officer, Jill. Next week, Transfigurations, the best of both worlds. And season and then we can talk about season 3. So now this is a good all right, everyone. I tell you, would you like us to, since there are only 2 episodes remaining, what if we put Best of Both Worlds, both parts in there? And then so that we'll have Transfigurations, then we'll have those 2 parts. It'll be a closure of sorts. Yes, since I know it's from 4th season technically. And then we'll do our wrap up of a whole of what we think of season 3 as a whole. And then start fresh with family for season 4, the 5, the following week. Does that work for you, or would you rather? What do you think?
I'm with whatever the crowd wants to do, but I like starting fresh as a daisy. Like I like starting the next season fresh, even if that means that we do fewer episodes.
Oh, it's still fewer episodes, but 2 parts. That's just a 2-parter. You got the cliffhanger thing. I mean, if you want to do the cliffhanger, I will. I mean, I should have put it to you before we. Well, I mentioned it earlier, but should be one night. I think a lot of people like it to put them together. I do too, to be honest. I kind of like just then you start fresh with the aftermath from it the following week. But if you want to do cliffhanger, because see, we only have 2 episodes otherwise.
Yeah. Well, look, what do you want to do, Clobby?
Well, I figured I kind of like doing it. With having that, just treating that as one story, because obviously once it's all been said and done, there's some people are saying they like both parts. They like doing it as both parts. They don't like the cliffhanger.
Okay.
But I will leave it to you, because that's the way I would probably like to do it, but I'm not married to it. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't be a big deal. Do 2 parts. They like to do both parts, they're saying.
Yeah, I think everyone in the crowd wants to do both parts.
But if you're not thrilled with that, I mean,
no, that's okay. I don't mind at all. I want to do what everybody else wants to do. I'm here to entertain them and to spend time with them. And look at this. Everyone is saying to do both parts. Even Kal-El. Yeah, even Kal-El. Yeah, and look, Phantom Outsider.
Yeah, everyone hates that cliffhanger stuff.
Yeah, they do. They don't like that stuff.
It was pretty annoying back then. I'm like, oh, good Lord. You're to wait a freaking year. Now, this is only a week, but yeah, both parts.
John.
Yeah.
John's ringing in too, Captain.
All right.
And Max says that we should slap Wesley and think about it. And he put, of course, the accents above all the E's on Wesley. So he just wants us to slap Wesley and think about it.
I wish I could clip that and use it and play it in 5 seconds.
And Hungry Boy says to do 2. And Enigmatic Drop Bear says it's okay. It's up.
See, that's why I checked, because I know that if we did it the cliffhanger way, I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna make us wait to review the second part next week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we all so.
That would be kind of weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would feel weird, but maybe we could do it. But it's better than a year, but still.
No, let's go with the crowd.
It is continuing that story. I know they had it for the season premiere, but still, it's a continuation of that season. So, the episode Family, which starts after that, I believe, if I'm right, is in a sense for me the way that season starts. So, all right. Well, anyway,
let's do both. No cliffhanger.
No cliffhanger.
The Max, so funny. Yes, the crowd has spoken, and if that's what the community wants, that's what the community is going to get. No cliffhanger, folks. We do both parts.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of cliffhangers, but I understand them and they're fine. But once they're already done, then I'm like, well, we already know anyway. So I always
Yeah.
watch them together when I watch cliffhangers and stuff.
Oh, even Wolfie wants them done. Do both parts in one night. Even Wolfie. So yeah, the vote is clear. We'll do both parts. How
Indeed,
lovely.
indeed.
Thank you so much for having your say and for voicing your opinion. We appreciate it very much, everyone.
Yes, it had all been planned and done season 3. So even if it was aired season 4, it was the end of season 3. That's true, Michael B. Come on, I think that's true. So before we get out of here, before I do some show notes, please, everyone, I want my first officer to tell you all about her wonderful works of fiction. And please, if you have not already, please go take a look at them. Tell us about your writings, my wonderful first officer.
Oh, Clavi, that's so generous of you to use your channel to promote my work. Yes, I write science fiction short story. If you like Philip K. Dick, if you like Edgar Allan Poe, if you like the old Twilight Zone and the old Outer Limits, you might like my short stories. And my short stories, science fiction short stories, I'm trying to put them into a collection. So I'm selling them for under $1 separately to try and drum up some buzz. So maybe a local publisher will become interested in the stories and help me to do the short story collection. And then I can do it hardbacked and I can sign them and send them to people. And it would be wonderful for me. And one way that they tell me I can achieve that, because apparently from what I've been told from several publishers, is that people don't really want to buy short story collections, so they don't publish short story collections unless there's demand for them. One way I could do that is by drumming up audience interest. So my stories are on sale at Amazon.ca. And all you have to do is look up my name, R.M. Briggs, and they're under $1 a piece. And if you would buy one and leave a review, I would be incredibly grateful. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has already purchased one of my stories and left me a review. I am deeply honored that you would read my stuff and that you would take the time to do that for me. I appreciate it immensely.
Thank you so much. And a big thank you to the great Brett Cohen, who says, I don't like Star Trekking. But here's what he's not a Trek fan, I guess. But here's more to this week's tally, Clubby. Just let Raquel talk, and the show will be great. That's for sure.
You're so sweet, Brett. I just love you, Brett Cohen. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for supporting the show.
Thank you, Brett. I really appreciate it, my friend. It is very appreciated. And thank you all for being here tonight. We're about to say what? Oh, gosh. We're about to, I'm just checking these things, got to catch up. Sorry, we're about to say our goodbyes here. I have to do a quick show note or two. Let's see. Monday night will be, oh man, I don't even know. It'll be probably just a comics recommendation night. We'll do open comics. I'm not exactly sure what. And wow, I just remembered I have all that stuff planned last week. This week I got nothing really planned out. We'll be here next Saturday night. So I'll do some topics or do something Monday and Wednesday or whatever. We'll think of something because I'll be here every damn night just about. So thank you all for being here with us tonight. Now we're going to do our shout outs and our goodbyes because we appreciate you all. Everyone gets a shout out, whether they're here or whether they were here earlier or not, because that's how we roll, right?
Yeah, that's right. This is a community. This is more than just a chat for us. This is the recreation of a comic convention where we sit with all the great geeks, all the great nerds, all the wonderful Trek people. So, just love. We just love you guys. We appreciate you guys, and so we have to give you a shout out. It's only right. You're a part of this community, and you're our friends.
Yep. Well, snort a poopus, buddy. Thank you for being here tonight, bro.
Snort a poopus!
Gilbert!
Raymond and Sandra Feliciano, the Feliciano duo. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
King Dolphin TV.
King Dolphin TV. Put the link for King Dolphin TV in there, brother. Or I think you already did, but just if you haven't, do it. For his Raymond's new and up and coming channel. I had to call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete! And Wesley, and you and your wonderful and accomplished offspring. Another heartfelt congratulations, getting over that line to that doctorate. I am immensely proud of your wonderful offspring, though I am not surprised, given what a wonderful couple you are, a wonderful mom, wonderful dad, husband and wife. You guys are just inspired human beings, and I just love being around you. So good night, family.
G. Bud Martin, the man of iron, buddy. Appreciate you, buddy.
Mwah.
Zathras, always a pleasure, buddy. I know you were here earlier. Great to see you, bud.
Crap, crap, crap.
I know she was here earlier, at least the wonderful Janet from another planet. Thank you, Janet.
Interplanet Janet, she's a galaxy girl.
Indeed she is. Indeed she is. Enigmatic Drop Bear. BD, thank you so much. We always appreciate you being with us.
You were sensational this evening, and thank you for your well-wrought prose. And I love your participation here, and just terrific performance this evening. Terrific engagement. What a wonderful conversation we had with you this evening. We'll see you next week.
Indeed, we will. Indeed, we will, sir. Captain James T. Skywalker, good to see you as always. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Good evening.
The great Kal-El 48. Kal-El, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.
Wonderful and very personal comments tonight about morals and ethics and what drives human beings and what defines us. And Kal-El and Steve Mitchum were incredibly articulate tonight and steadfast in expressing that this evening. And I just appreciate it so much. Kal-El, you were wonderful tonight. Thank you so much for your company. Good night.
The great JT Kirk, buddy. Thank you.
You were terrific tonight as usual. Hysterical. Good night, JT.
The man of the hour, the great Max Redstone, buddy.
The limerick.
Right.
The limerick.
Well, some amazing work there, friend.
Yeah. You're a star. You are a star and a sweetheart of a man. Just terrific. Good night. And it was so good to have you. Whenever you have time, please stop in because we just love you. You're great.
Fabioki, 100, thank you so much.
Good night, Fabioki.
Nirata Max Amanda Bear.
Good night, Nirat.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. He popped in, but I didn't see him other than that. But still, shout out to our good buddy Rod Thunderheart.
Good night, Rod. Yeah, Rod was very busy this evening, but he wanted to make sure that he came by and left a like for us because he wants to support your channel and he wants to support all of your shows. So he had a super busy night, but and he let me know that in over Twitter. So good night, Rod. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're doing well out there. The great Hungry Boy.
I love Hungry Boy.
Appreciate you, man. You're a great pal of the show, bud.
And he drew that, by the way, folks. If you don't know Hungry Boy, what a talented artist and a wonderful person he is. And I just love his company, a great part of this community and a great supporter of Clobby and Clobby's channel and Clobby's shows. Just wonderful. Good night, Hungry Boy.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. He was here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but the great Chris Persia.
Kalinita, Evharisto.
As, of course, our wonderful communications officer, the extraordinary anti-derivative Jill. Love you, Jill. Thank you.
Yeah, we do love you, Jill. Thank you for all of your help tonight and all of your wonderful, wonderful commentary and reviews. You were wonderful.
As always, the master of other wrenching, the other master of wrenching, I guess you should say, Eric K. Brother, the man of bronze. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for all your help, man.
Yeah, especially tonight, rescuing those chats or those reviews for us. Just thank you so much. We love you very much. Please make sure you get rest and take good care of yourself because everyone cares for you very deeply, and we want to see you fit as a fiddle, honey.
Absolutely. Wolfie762. Wolfie!
Ow, ow, ow!
Appreciate it. Tyrell, number 72. Thank you, Tyrell. Appreciate you, sir.
Good night, Tyrell.
Venomous Prime, a.k.a. Claude.
Have a good evening, Mr. Parrish. I'm flattered that you stopped by because I know you don't normally do that sort of thing. So it was a pleasure to see you, and thank you so much.
And The great Steve Mitchell.
Steve.
Everyone.
Yeah. I already said goodnight to him. What a wonderful person he is.
The great Brightest Day stopped by earlier. Always a pleasure. Thank you, Brightest Day. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and again, congratulations on that milestone.
Yes.
You worked hard for that, and onward to the next plateau.
Indeed. The Catman, aka Didi Myers, buddy. Thank you so much. I know I had to run, but shout out to you. Thank you.
Yep, night, Didi, and Didi's wife.
Absolutely, Mazerus. Thank you.
Night,
Appreciate
Mazerus.
you. Stuart Mitchell popped in earlier. Dolly had braces. Stuart Mitchell. Thank you.
Love Stuart Mitchell. He's a wonderful person. Night, Stuart.
Yep. Aaron Baker. Thank you for popping in. I know you popped in earlier.
Good night, Aaron.
The great Captain Cockney Mira Spock, buddy. Thank you.
Night, Cockney.
The great J-Man, my buddy. Thank you for so much.
Oh, yeah. And for
so
buying Lila and reading Lila and enjoying Lila, saying that you loved it and then leaving a great review for me. J-Man, that was so generous and wonderful of you. Thank you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, buddy. Lee Anthony Davis, thank you for stopping in. We appreciate you.
Good night, Lee.
Of course, our chief engineer, who's out there somewhere, he may not be hearing us now. I don't know, but the great Mark D with a C, bub. Thank you.
We might have to send our 3 bears to rescue him because I'm worried. What happened to Bark?
I don't know.
I'm sure he's fine. He's a scoutmaster.
Yep. Wasting away in Margaritaville, Parrot Head. Always a pleasure, man.
Parrot Head. Good night, Parrot Head.
John, JRPR, PH1. Thank you, John, for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, you were terrific tonight, John. Thank you for the company.
Architectural foam panels and columns. It is a pleasure to have you here.
It was.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you. Nice to meet you very much. LDG of Geeks Enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Good night.
Sir John, thank you for stopping in.
Good night.
The Hulk villain Zax, thank you for being here.
Zax. And Zax, thank you so much for always sharing our show and always sharing stuff from Clubby's channel on all the various social media. I really appreciate all that support. I think you're a wonderful person, Zax. Thanks.
Appreciate it, buddy. Always great to see you. Thank you, Zax. And thank you for the $10 super sticker for the great Brett Cohen. Thank you, Brett, so much. You're too kind, buddy.
Yeah, very smart and very kind and
thank you.
Very nice man. It's so nice to have you here on Saturday Night Star Trek, and I hope to see you on another show very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, Brett, and thank you.
Appreciate you, Brett. Thank you so much. Michael Beacom. Thank you, sir. It's always great to see you, my friend.
Speaking of smart people, there's another very intelligent person, Michael. Just a wonderful showing again this evening. Really impressive. You're just terrific company.
Indeed. And my cousin, a member of the family who pops in once in a while.
Yes, David.
Love you, bud. Good to see you, man. David Raybarn.
He had fun tonight in the chat. I think
pleasure.
He had a bit of a tipple and he was having a good time and he was laughing out loud. So I hope he had a wonderful time. It looks like he had a wonderful time in our community. Our chat just they had a great time with him.
I hope so. Darth Haster popped in. Hey, buddy. Thank you.
Good night, Darth.
Monkey Jeebus, shout out. Hey.
Monkey Jeebus.
Mega Cropper, thank you so much for being here.
Good ratings tonight, Mega Cropper. Thank you for stopping in.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, my friend, thank you so much for your contributions and hanging out with us. Appreciate you.
Very, very funny. Another comedian in our community who's just hysterical. Great showing tonight, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Loved it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir.
Elara Cardosen, thank you as always. Appreciate you.
Good night, Elara.
Thank you so much. Justin Normie popped in for a second. Thank you. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it.
Good night.
The wonderful Sherry, lovely Sherry. Thank you, Sherry, for stopping in. We appreciate you. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Adam Outsider, brother.
So funny tonight. Just savage tonight. Loved it, Phantom Outsider. Great conversation.
Oliver Belmonte, thank you for popping in. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good
Snail
night.
Messiah, thank you.
Yep. And Mark didn't even threaten to eat him this time, which is good.
Always good. Always a plus. Shinotsky, thank you for being in here. Lagabellas for the little popping in. Good to see you there, brother. And finally, again, the aforementioned great Brett Cohen. He was the last one that I wrote down there because he just popped in later there. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Those of you who are left get the privilege of seeing this wonderful intro, outro, known as extra, also made by my wonderful first officer with a little assistant in here from the great our engineer. So I love it. I can never get enough of it. So please enjoy this and have a wonderful rest of your night. Remember to set your clocks back if you are in the U.S. and you're not one of those time zone free places. So have a great night, my friends. Enjoy and keep on trekking. We'll see you next week for the end of season 3 of TNG.